Hello, everybody. Welcome to Irongeek cast number 57, Month of Cons. I didn't have any better name for it. Basically, I'm calling it because I got so many cons back to back to back. And that was the loop back. It's going, so I can go check chats as needed. Hopefully, everybody's doing okay. I'll do a quick announcement of what cons. I'm calling this the Month of Cons because they're not on the same month. Somehow I got scheduled a bunch of cons like every weekend for like 4 weekends in a row. I'm at con.
Well, that's how you know the next month's going to go by fast.
Yep, that's true. I was just at B-Sides Tampa, and by the way, I love Tampa, and I found a mead bar about like a block and a half away from the hotel I was at.
Nice.
So I had like 5 different meads there. Tampa's awesome. Also, there was a cop. I was drunk on my ass. I look at the cop, and as I say something to him, like, I'm very inebriated right now. Is it okay? Because I wasn't sure they were sitting there watching, and I wouldn't show it the signals, and they was like, yeah. I'm like, I love Tampa. And the guy just smiled. And hopefully I'll see y'all there, and hopefully Owie will be able to make it as well. B-Sides Nova is coming up February 24th, and then I got B-Sides Columbus March 2nd, and then B-Sides Indy March 10th. Then I'm free for like a weekend, and then I got B-Sides Chattanooga on March 24th.
Ooh, you are on it, my friend.
I got videos coming out. So how's everybody doing?
I thought what I'd do is I'd pretend I was one of those deaf mutes, or should I?
You can do whatever you want. I don't know.
Exactly. I'm doing wonderful. It's Wonderful Wednesday, feeling good, rocking out. Ow!
Good.
And I keep having fights with my ISP because they keep telling me that I need to take down my firewall or they're going to cancel my service.
Wait, take down your firewall. Why do you?
Why?
What? We can't see into your network. Why do you need to look into my network?
No, they're like you have an enterprise grade firewall on your network. We either are going to have to upgrade you to a business class line, and I'm like, no, it's not.
I like how they're telling you.
There's a way around this. There's a way around this.
No, I was like, no, I see your scans and I block your shit every fucking time.
I like how they're doing it. They're pretty slick. I give them A for effort.
You're running an enterprise grade firewall. Maybe we can make you pay more.
Yep, we're gonna take your money.
Like, Jack, did they like call you or did they just like email you?
Oh no, they called me because you know I don't use their fucking shitty ass.
All right, cool.
What the fuck am I gonna use their fucking email for?
And now you were mentioning before at the beginning, before we actually started streaming. What's up with your project, Ari?
So, I've dropped the proof of concept of a new attack class that uses pretty much nothing but existing vectors to do something damn dangerous that's new.
And you can check that's pinned tweet at Owie's Twitter account, AOI Ghost. And
so,
go ahead.
If I may say what I've done.
Go ahead.
Apparently, okay, so what I found is that game engines do not verify the content they load is actually what it says it is.
Okay, that's
so when you have something downloading over an unsecured network connection, you can man in the middle of it, which is obvious and painfully stupid stuff. But here's the beautiful part of it. When you have augmented reality and mixed reality and virtual reality goggles being run around with in industrial, commercial, and military settings, and you have people downloading content over those to load into the applications that are running as you have those on, what can you do to the user? You see, when you can download models combined with behavior scripts at the same time, and then have them execute with absolutely no authentication whatsoever, what can you do with that?
You can make the laughing man.
Exactly. It's called malicious entity injection, or MAE. This is something I've been hinting about on this cast even for the past few months, but politics has bogged me down from releasing it.
Well, now look at you.
Well, now it's finally out, so yay.
I thought what I'd do is I'd pretend I was one of those deaf mutes.
There you go.
What's also interesting is I'm taking classes for video game development, stuff like that. So all of that I understood. So I'm like, yay, I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah,
Which is
basically.
interesting.
So I'm going to share my screen for a moment because I want to show a little bit of this, but
Please
actually,
do. That sounds awesome.
Actually, I'm not sure if I have Unity installed on this box. Let me double check.
Oh, you did it through Unity. I'm even building
Oh,
Unity
yeah.
too.
Oh,
Oh.
it gets better. Unity's bug bounty program told me where to shove it. I now have a virtual reality podcaster screaming at them who knows them, who's like, what the fuck is wrong with your security program? I didn't even fucking ask him to do it. He read the blog post and had the oh shit response.
You know what the response to that is, right? Release that shit.
You did. It's out there.
I did.
You did.
I submit this motherfucker to Chaos Communication Congress, PumpCon, ShmooCon, B-Sides Charm, all of which turned me down.
Oh, wow.
That means you did it right, my friend.
Yep.
I'm in the air tonight.
So I got this bitch up and running right now,
Yeah.
so I'm going to have to start my VM real quick. 1 second.
Dude, this sounds super fun because I was watching something for my class, and they were explaining how the engine works and how it loads at least scripts or objects in general. And it didn't seem like there was any sort of verification. It was just like, yeah, it's just there. And even if you have like a C# script, it's just there. And even if you destroy it, it's still there.
So I can't do the man-in-the-middle attack right now because I just switched over to Hyper-V and don't have a Kali box installed. So fail on my part. But there's a video of that online, so you can just see it, and it's basically Better Cap running as a man in the middle. So fuck it. But I can show the actual behavior right now. 1 second. Share screen. Right on mine. Here we go. So the obvious wallpaper before we get started. So if you take a look right here, you see. All right. So is my screen legible? First of all.
It looks fairly legible. It's awfully wide. That's a wide ass screen.
Yeah, it's one of the ultra wide ones. Okay, so you see here where it says load asset, and then it goes http proof of concept.may.ninja or .may.ninja / unity cham friend.unity3d, and then it has the asset name friend. So what that is doing in this attack is it pulls up the. So actually, let's pull this up to the asset bundle manager so I can show it this way. So you've got the Unity Cham friend asset bundle right here configured, and then it loads the friend prefab right here. So you can see where my cursor is, right?
Yep.
So let's pull this up for a second in editor so I can show exactly what the hell is going on here. Once it stops being slow. Okay, I'm probably going to reinstall this box, but okay. So when you open up the friend prefab, you see in the inspector it has animator and then the bind joints. But this is the part that's interesting, the node group. So Unity 3D's default security mechanisms block including C# scripts from the actual from the asset bundle. So you can't bundle them with asset bundles and just send arbitrary scripts.
Wait.
But here's the thing. When you look here, you can create visual scripts. And you can spawn a script that spawns from unity.game, and then on update tick, it transforms and moves. So it just... And when you throw in stuff like Bolt visual scripting and Nautilus, which allows for .NET reflection, oh man!
Dude,
so,
nice.
Fun.
So at this point, what I have basically found is that in the process of doing this, you can inject over a man-in-the-middle attack because all the asset bundle system does is it looks at the asset bundle, it downloads the asset bundle from here, and then it loads the friend prefab, which is now the pink thing moving forward because my shaders are fucked up, but that's beside the point. happens is, in my proof of concept video, I showed that I was able to do this. 1 second. I'm going to pull up the video, and I'm just going to stream it because fuck it.
Yeah, do it.
Okay, watch this shit. So, this is what I did with this. This was back when I had VirtualBox installed. So, watch the video, and you'll see. So, there's the pink Unity chamfer. That's just the standard asset. So, what happens is, you run this script, which runs BetterCap with the HTTP proxy module. And what happens is, you run it again, and because it's not verifying what it does, when it sends the GET request to get the Unity 3D Unichamfriend file, what it will do is it will swap the file for the man-in-the-middle file, and there you go. The translation, which is the moving forward, is a scripted functionality. That rotation is also a scripted functionality. So in rotating, it is executing a scripted functionality that should not be able to be included by the standard default systems.
Wow.
So here is the actual man in the middle of the Laughing Man attack, so you can see. This was taken at Starbucks, so that's why there's noise.
I love the background.
Thank you. So all my shit posting with Ghost in the Shell and May from Overwatch and all that shit was a direct reference to this. So this is facial recognition being done through OpenCV. And
Wow.
because of the actual .NET reflection in certain scripting languages like Bolt and Nautilus, you can do that.
Dude, that's awesome.
Like,
You said you have a write-up on this?
Yes, it's linked in the chat, but I'll send it again.
I will also leave a comment on the video of that as well, wherever I put that.
I'll throw a link in the show notes.
Oh yeah, throw it. Yep, yeah. Yeah, it'll be in the show notes. There we go. Dude, that's awesome. I'm gonna post this and with the stream later tonight because to the gaming program or the game development group tonight, because they'll probably look at it and be like, wow, that's actually really cool.
The most beautiful fucking part about this is there is currently stuff going on behind the scenes to get Unity to get their ass in line.
Yeah, which is interesting because you think I don't know. I haven't worked on it.
I can't really discuss what happened other than to say it seems to me like they did not realize what the fuck I was talking about. I noticed a distinct trend from the game dev people who I noticed, and also from Reddit NetSec after I posted this all over Reddit. Most of the people who saw it had the attitude of, oh, fuck you, this is boring, you're just doing a man-in-the-middle attack and swapping an asset, so what? They didn't realize that what's actually going on here isn't just swapping the asset or even just running a rotation or a translation. It's a proof of concept showing that you can do things like inject an asset, swap an asset. You can even nest an asset inside another asset, which looks legitimate, which is really streaming video of everything you're looking at to the cloud. Or you could use it to do something like grab a user's GPS location and send a fucking hit squad.
Let's not do that, though.
But
yeah,
no, let's not do.
Bad things happen when people
Let's
do that.
not do that, but I'm trying to illustrate a point here. And because this tech is being widely adopted in certain sectors like military, guess what?
Yeah.
Now, admittedly, this implementation can be circumvented with HTTPS and with basic checking, but this is really just a basic low-hanging fruit implementation to show it can be done. A lot of people have been bitching like, oh, it's just man in the middle. Who cares if it's just man in the middle? It fucking works.
True.
Yeah.
So the reason this is called malicious entity injection is because you're injecting a malicious entity in where there should be a good entity. I mean,
Makes sense.
the objective of this attack is attacking the wetware. It's not so much about the software or about the hardware. There's a vulnerability, and now you can either steal data, influence data, or just straight up attack the wetware. That's where we're going with this. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share.
Charles, you've been up to some stuff. You've been building a new what was it? A new box, new VM box. Or what have you been doing?
Yes, just working on a lot of exploit dev, which I needed a bigger box. I just went insane and built.
We all need a bigger box.
Yeah, we all need to build bigger box. But I went insane and stuffed it with 32 gigs of RAM and a 4 terabyte drive for now. I'm gonna pick up a second 4 terabyte just to raid it using LVM on Kali Linux. You know, just as some redundancy. I don't even if I lose a little bit of performance, I could care less because the processor is rocking. But what I've been spending a lot of time on, like I said, getting deeper with exploit development and just reverse engineering role. Also, too, while I'm on this task, I was looking at some stuff today. I know they have like Open RCE, but that site is extremely old. And if there's any reversers out there who know about some more any more forums that are out there besides that one, because it's like extremely old. I think the last post was like 2009. You know, and I haven't. I've been doing some searching like almost half the day, and it's not really much out there for reversers to kind of collaborate on.
I really don't know of any collaboration stuff, but I do know some resources I could point you to if you need learning resources.
Yeah, just like learning resources and maybe some forums I can just chat with a couple of even outside of IRC, because even as cool and awesome as IRC is, not a lot of people use IRC still. You see what I'm getting at? So it's just kind of like
well, yeah, everyone uses Slack and Discord now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a Discord.
You and me both,
maniac.
brother.
Yeah, I am all over Discord. You gotta send me a Discord name when you get a chance, man. I'm always.
Oh hell yeah, brother.
Yes.
Okay, so this person right here, she did some interesting stuff with RE, with teaching ARM RE. Also, Malware Unicorn. She did RE.
Yeah.
Great.
She has some good write-ups.
Some awesome write-ups and whatnot. So yeah, those will probably be the two that I'm more so leveraged just to give them a shout, because my end goal is this. And Georgia, if you're listening, I want us to take the mobile world by storm, because I still feel that like there's a lot of bugs that need to be found in the mobile arena. And what I mean by that is like there's a lot of stuff out there that we don't know about, you know, and it's just like a personal, if you want to say a personal project or a personal challenge I decided just to take on. I've been buying up phones like crazy, and anybody that's listening, if you have any old phones that you don't care about, I don't care if it's a cracked screen or whatever, I will definitely take it off your hands.
I doubt she's listening. I doubt a lot of people listening. I actually saw a write-up about us on Reddit about, one of the comments was, why don't they cut this down? It takes a long time to get to anything that interesting. And someone else, I love listening to Irongeek's voice. Said no one ever.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. All right.
You know what? I like that kind of feedback, because that just helps us get better.
Yeah.
You know, whether I don't, you know me, I'm Positive Patty, if you want to call me that. I'll take the the feedback, and then we definitely want to get to some interesting stuff. But
one thing I will say is that honest feedback is way underrated. It's better to hear a harsh truth than a pretty little lie, because the harsh truth at least lets you grow. I mean, I know some people are like, dude, that's awesome, that's cool, or oh, you're doing awesome, and then they're really talking shit behind your back.
Yeah.
Don't say shit behind my back. Say it to my face, because that way I know what to improve.
But you know what? You just mentioned corporate America. Oops, I'm sorry. But Ooh,
Boom.
Here I go drinking that coffee and dropping bombs. I know.
Boom.
Yeah, shots fired and double take. Yeah,
Hell yeah, brother.
but
Someone in the main chat wants to be or someone in the YouTube chat wants to be in the Hangout chat, so I'll send him the link.
Yeah,
Yeah,
come on in, brother.
Come on in. Come on in.
All
Just don't.
aboard.
Nova Signy. I don't know if that's a male or a female, so it doesn't matter. So come on in.
Just be careful. The warm water, don't drink it, and don't eat the yellow snow.
Mm-hmm. Also, too, I'm gonna put this out here. If you guys are on Discord and you're interested in the OSCP or you're working in the OSCP labs or whatever, come join us. We're all doing the OSCP labs together. We're challenging ourselves to really. I'm taking the test April
Nice.
12th. I'm taking the exam for the OSCP, knocking that out, and then that way I could just move on to the more fun.
I need to get more
stuff.
lab time.
Well, yeah, if you got more lab time, man, come on over to the Discord channel. I'll send you the invite, and yeah.
Send me, and if nothing else, I'll fucking follow through and figure out what the hell.
Yeah, no, I'll send it to you anyway, and you can just join in. We do chat sessions every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. As far as like just discussing our progress. If you ran into anything, how can you get better? That's all the goal is, just to help each other get better.
Cool.
So been quite busy with that. And again, like I said, my personal challenge of taking the mobile world by storm. And what brought this on? I was sitting in a meeting one day, and I was just watching.
Welcome to the chat.
Just watching
Who's
other
that
people.
ugly mug?
Welcome.
Adrian.
Welcome.
Viking X.
I was sitting through some meeting, and they were just talking about how they need to change things and how they need to, not really improve, but do things the same way, but just trying in unique ways. But anyway, and something struck me is like, these asshats don't know shit. They're not putting in the hours that we put into. They're not putting in the hours that we put in just because we like it so much. These guys are just
you're talking about a very small fraction of information security professionals that put in time at home,
right,
and push to learn more,
right,
every day. That's a small percentage. Most of them are corporate gigs, right?
Yeah, and I was just sitting there, and it's just kind of like, because they were talking about the bring your own device movement. That's what kind of struck a nerve a little bit, not in an angry way, but just in a way it's like, there's still more out there that we could be discovering, that I could be discovering. What the hell, Charles?
What was the whole bring your own device conversation? I'm interested in
what
was mentioned there.
Well, what it is just they're trying to find a better way to kind of control what comes in and out of their network, what's connecting to their access points and whatnot. And the subject came up about mobile devices, and then that's when it led into the whole bring your own device movement and everything that's been going on in IoT. So it kind of just branched off from there. So that's what kind of brought that conversation up. And as they were talking, it's funny. I felt like as they were talking, I was moving. The conversation for me was moving in slow motion, like oh, these guys they don't look at it. I just think we could be doing more in the mobile space.
So from a forward-thinking standpoint, they're looking at, we're going to attack this same problem from a different angle.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. That you sum it up. Yes. I just think there's more out there than your traditional. Oh, here's the app. Here's this. Like there's more that can be discovered at the lower level that we're not seeing. It's kind of like. Go ahead.
So you were talking more along the lines of not just application bugs and stuff like that, but actually kernel and device level stuff, or operating
Correct.
system level stuff. Okay.
Kernel and device stuff, because I think that's like, I mean, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there, and I discovered a website called droidsec.org. The guy, he wrote Joshua, I forgot his last name, but he wrote the Android Hackers book. And real nice guy on IRC. He's, pretty cool. So I discovered those guys. So I've been following those guys on IRC a little bit as well. But then I just took it on for myself to just dig deeper in the whole exploit dev stuff and get down into the mobile side of the house. I've got some good material on ARM assembly as well. So that's what I've been looking at as well. I'm running ARM version 8 right now on the Raspberry Pi. So that's kind of like my little practice station. So I kind of SSH into it, and
I still have
to write stupid stuff. Go ahead.
Zero W's or W0, or how would they call it? Raspberry Pi 0W.
Oh yeah, 0W. I have several 0Ws as well too. Actually, I'm trying, and this is for, and I'm trying to see what I can make out of it for DerbyCon. I'm racking up on a crap load of Pi Ws that I can kind of like mod, like my Derby. I'm gonna actually get a Derby and then just mod it. So as we're working together at DerbyCon, I'll be wearing a modded Derby for the Pi Zeros.
Nice.
Just for fun, just to have some fun and and rock out. So I'm super excited about that. Question for you, Adrian.
Yes.
As staff, are you guys buying tickets as well?
I mean, you get free admission.
Okay. That's what I was curious.
We don't get anybody rooms necessarily. Though, if you really need a place to crash, you can crash on my floor in my room.
Okay, okay, that's what I was asking about the admission part.
That's a lot too many people. No, you don't have to buy.
Adrian,
If you're a volunteer, you don't have to buy a ticket, dude. No.
Okay, cool. So that's what I was wanted to be sure.
That'd be silly because, man, you'd be all stuck in one track and not necessarily see all the talks you want to see. I generally try for the volunteers for video to switch them around to whatever room they want to be in, but sometimes that doesn't work out.
Listen, whatever room. Here's the thing. Whatever room, say, hey, whatever track or whatever room, I'm just happy to have a seat at the table, my friend. Cool. So I have no preference.
So, Charles, just real quick, getting back to your discussion around forward thinking in terms of mobile devices. So, just to put it all together, are you looking at it from an attack standpoint and then from a defense standpoint?
Yes, attack first, then provide the fix. Because I mean, that's what it's all about at the end. We're trying to make purple. We're trying to make purple teams here. So, and I'm taking a page out of Dave Kennedy's talk that I listened to one time. And he's talking about, mixing the red team and the blue team together to make purple teams. So I want to do that.
Purple team for life, baby.
Yes. So I want to, I'm trying to do that at the mobile level, but at a lower level too. And then eventually as it grows and as things, as we discover more things and more issues and more bugs, we start working with the hardware developers, and a quote from, and this was years ago, Josh Thomas, Monk on Twitter. Hardware developers are software people too. So
I'm not sure whether this is hard or soft.
But just kind of as we're finding bugs or whatnot, it's just kind of just looping everyone in to try to make it. Make better platforms, and better, more secure mobile devices. And hence why, and notice when I said, reason I shouted out Georgia, because she's into mobile, and she's her talk was the first talk I saw on like mobile penetration testing. So I know she's into mobile. So if you listen to Georgia, I'll give you a shout on Twitter later on.
Before we go, go ahead.
I was just going to say real quick, we touched on some Discord discussion here. I think I talked to you a little bit a while back, Adrian, about setting up a Discord for this, or this potential hangout, and then we branch off from there potentially.
If someone,
that would be pretty cool if anyone's up for that.
I just don't know if I have the time to actually monitor it much.
I have a server that my friend runs for a group of us that just play video games, but we could make a room in them every Tuesday night. You guys could, I could see if he would let us do that. I don't think there would be any issue with it. So, and it's already set up, and I think he's just running it off of a computer in his house, but he's had pretty much 24-hour uptime. I don't know how Discord servers work. I don't know if they're running natively on a box and then out, but I can maybe look into that.
They were running off a central server, and you just type in.
I think.
It pretty much is a central server. Yeah, it's basically Slack but better.
Yeah.
It's basically Slack without the pants. Oops.
Yeah.
Hey, don't you dare expose the fact that I'm on my underwear right now, asshole.
That coffee is doing it, man. Woo!
That topic, I'm going to go ahead and cover.
I'm not wearing any pants.
Nobody is. Nobody.
I don't know. I mean, the only annoying thing about Discord is that I have to set myself as do not disturb. Otherwise, I get a shit ton of fucking pop-ups throughout the day.
Yeah.
Just don't have notifications on. And my server, it's just like for me, my younger brother, and then a couple of my friends. And the only times that we're like talking is when we're on there or any sort of notifications, and those are usually at night anyway. So.
But no, I mean, I'm in a shit ton of rooms on there.
Yeah.
You aren't the only one.
Man. Cut them all off at once.
I mean, for fuck's sake, between the infosec rooms, the game dev rooms, the porn rooms.
Yeah.
It's not porn. It's adult entertainment. Get it right.
I had no idea that you were a cam whore.
Hey, baby. You want to flirt?
To get this back on track, I know.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that Ricky wants to cover, but I'm going to cover something I'm doing real quick. I've been playing around with this. I'm going to turn on my webcam real quick. Have you ever heard of...
hey, you cam whore. You're going to turn on that cam? Bitch.
Heard of what?
Have you ever heard of the Master Switch? Or, depending on who you talk to, Sparrow calls their version the Master Switch, and Peterson calls theirs the Silver Bullet. You ever see these kind of tools for bypassing locks?
Yeah.
I have never seen those, actually.
And I call them shipping tools. They're designed for master lock number 3s. They work in the ones. The ones is what I have. I decided, I went in and my buddy Doug Highweller, you know how most people make like homemade lockpicks out of hacksaw blades?
Mm-hmm.
He showed me something called filler gauge, which you can order. And it's a little bit finer, though this one's a little old because it started to leak carbon or something out of it. But I made some cut down versions of this so I can put them in my wallet. And I don't know if you've ever seen how these things work. You know how some locks have spring-loaded locking dogs, a tongue and groove system to hold the shackle into the main body of the lock?
Yeah. And it's usually towards the top.
You can reach in, and there's holes it falls into on a master lock number 1 or 3, and I think there's a few others that might open. This one's almost straight down. You put it in there and wiggle it, and you can pull those locking dogs aside. So that's one master lock number 1. I found some it works on, some it doesn't. And even if I thought maybe they fixed the problem, but then I even bought some new ones while I was down in Huntsville, and it still works. And this whole shivving technique, that's what I call it, shivving. It works also on some locks like this Brinks lock. If I can find the right spot on that, I can do it with just one of them.
Because it's not a true Brinks lock. It's just a rebadged master lock.
I don't even think master lock makes them based on the printing on these. Some of the Brinks locks I've encountered seem to have spool pins in them, but are still vulnerable to attacks like that, depending on the Brinks lock.
You know,
So I basically have, ground out my own little master switches out of feeler gauge. Though Sparrow's version of it, I actually have had better luck with Sparrow's version of it. I tried it. A buddy of mine has the Peterson version, which is called the Silver Bullet, and it didn't work as well for me as Sparrow's did. But I basically took my Sparrows and measured them out and kind of looked and traced and made my own little set that I can easily put in my wallet now.
Super cool.
All right, Ricky has a topic he wanted to bring up, and he didn't add it to the show notes like I told him to, but I added it.
Yeah, I thought I added it above, so the view that I got, it looks like I've added the show notes, but apparently you can't see it. Maybe
I don't know.
So on my view of the show notes, there are 2 entries for Ironcast 57.
Yeah.
Can someone send me the show notes real quick?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, I only see one set for. Wait, see new changes. Wait, how the fuck did that happen?
I was wondering that because I'm like, why is there 2? Okay, I guess we're doing 2 podcasts tonight.
So what happened is I asked Adrian to add a couple of topics. He gave me access to type up some of the show notes. So I just added using his format. I didn't name the show, but I just plopped it in there as some points of discussion. And then I saw under that he put the real show with the name of the show and then some other topics. So I meant to chat back with you about that, but
Ricky, I still don't see your version of it. I see other weird. Okay, regardless, I have in here that you wanted to discuss approaches to red team tabletop exercise as it relates to testing your IRP. So I'll let you go ahead and cover that.
Yeah, so I've had a couple of conversations with people, and there doesn't seem to be a general consensus. And I think this is a topic that would be worthwhile discussing, and maybe in a Discord channel. But hey, this is an opportunity. We've got some security professionals on the line here. So we are making our first approach into doing some red team tabletop exercises to start testing our incident response plan. And from the onset, it looks fairly easy. You take pieces of your response plan that you care about, and then you attempt to arrange your incident response teams around a specific use case or a specific problem item that you identified. I've had other people tell me the way that they test is purely from a offensive defensive standpoint. So they don't worry too much about the IRP. They're essentially attacking and looking to see what the blue team is able to detect and defend against, and how far can you get in. This isn't like a regular pen test. These are blue team actively watching and modifying systems and collecting logs while you're going through it. So general question is, have you guys worked this through before? How do you handle it? And is there other suggestions? So option 1 is you use specific use cases, such as a DDoS attack. And perhaps the red team doesn't trigger that at all, but you kind of go through the motions as if you are under some sort of an attack and gather the appropriate team. The other approach is you're sitting in a room with your blue team while you're attacking specific assets that they're monitoring, and you're trying to evade. And then, kind of sneak in and cause noise in one area, have them float here while you exploit one of the systems. So this has caused me a little bit of I don't know, quandary. I'm curious how you guys might handle it at work if you do it all.
All right, don't everybody speak up at once.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
the
nobody seems to.
only thing I can say on my end is I can't talk about it.
All I can say is I have no idea what I can say because I don't know.
The only
Is
thing that
that-
I can say because I don't have any experience with doing this, but it's something that I've thought about implementing for the company I work at in the States. But what I could say would be that for what you said, from what I've heard previous to this, it was very much towards the kind of like a simulated scenario, like a simulated attack, like everything from, or like all departments from your blue team all the way up to upper management take part in a day where they just get attacked and they all do the incident response plan. They all follow the same protocols that they would if there was to be an actual breach or an actual attack or something like that. And they would see how they do, and then they'd assess it the next day or assess it afterwards or something like that. So that I know is in practice, and I don't remember the company, and I'm not. And I was at a con that I went to in October that they were talking about it. Otherwise I don't really know. But what's interesting to me is, when you said that it's not like a pen test, like where they're just straight watching the logs, like and like actively monitoring. I don't know how Blue Team works because I'm not a professional. I'm just a student. Where they're actually like watching logs and they're actively just sitting there, just waiting for anything to come through. That's very reminiscent of the cybersecurity defense competition, or sorry, collegiate cyber defense competition.
CCDC.
CCDC.
I've been in a couple of those, although most of them were off the record, if you know what I mean.
So I just had my team in the States go through that, and it was very similar to that, where you're just constantly watching your stuff, but at the same time, it doesn't feel, to me at least, like that's a practical way to approach and testing an incident response plan, because you're not going to have people that are always around when an incident happens. So maybe just throwing like weird curveballs into the mix might actually help. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, and you make a good point. There is a red team tabletop exercise, and then there's the red team tabletop exercise against an IRP. Those seem to be two different categories to me. And the concern was, we've got one red teamer at the company, and I don't know if others can't talk about it for confidentiality reasons. That makes sense. But if you have a finite amount of resources, where would you spend your time? And I guess it depends on how far into your security program, what maturity level you have. We haven't wrapped our IRP up with our BA yet, so we're kind of in an interesting. Our security program is only 3 years old.
So, if I may make a suggestion about the most effective IRP possible, Thermite.
Nice.
Hey, destruction solves all problems. No computer, no problem.
Right?
No computer.
I don't think that would be a solution that would be acceptable.
Hey, it worked for Joseph Stalin, except he was doing it with people.
Only in the Ukraine. Only in the Ukraine.
Now there was a company I worked for. There was a company that I worked for that I did get to sit in on their tabletop exercises, and what they did was they salted their SIEM logs to simulate an attack, and based upon that, that's how they proceed to test our IRP.
Okay.
Hang on, Red Canary actually released something which this reminds me of. Let me send it. It's in the chat now.
What's actually
Atomic Red Team.
Yeah. They integrate what with Carbon? I think Carbon Black.
I'm not sure what the hell they integrate with.
I think that's what. Yeah, I think that they've partnered with them. But yeah, this is an interesting framework here. Thanks for linking that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, there are a lot. I think Uber also has something, but I can't remember. I think Chris Gates posted it. If Chris Gates posted it, I'll be able to find it that way. 1 second.
Sure.
Was it released by? It was on Uber's GitHub. Here we go. This is what it is. This as well. METTA by Uber.
Very cool.
Yeah, there are a lot of interesting paths of attack you can take for this stuff. A lot of things are scripted, and a lot of things are out there. You just gotta find them.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, again, knowing your audience, I guess, and knowing your capabilities is all a part of this. So it's probably not a one size fits all.
In my time shitposting on Twitter, I've learned who to follow and who to actually listen to and who to just shitpost alongside.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you.
kind of a question for in terms of having limited resources. Wouldn't having, let's say you wanted to test your IRP, and wouldn't going out and asking a third party pen testing firm or some other red team firm to say, hey, can you guys help us test our IRP and attack us on and do these parameters and try and get this and stuff like that? Would that be a viable way to do that?
So that's the approach that we would typically take. Is you hire an outside firm, they come in. There's a lot of I work around a couple of great local companies, Secure State being one. There's a couple other ones, Dave Kennedy's company, obviously, that will come out and perform those tests and walk you through it. The purpose of this was to kind of get, start walking before we run into that next step.
Makes sense. You want to see if there's something viable to show to execs to say, hey, this actually works. We should give it a full force this time.
Yeah. So a lot of times what you're doing is trying to sell potential services. And to do that, you have to show value. And to show value, you have to sometimes take your own internal folks and start pushing on it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's basically all I can add. I know my company doesn't have a incident response plan because we're all students, and I just started the security team before I left for Europe. So yay!
Nice.
It's a team of one.
Team of one.
Team of
Sometimes
one.
those are the best teams.
And I'm about to start calling myself Purple Team at this point because I got a message from my sysadmin in the States at about 3 a.m. saying that there was an attack coming from our network, which means one of our machines was compromised in some way, or someone's machine was compromised in some way. We kind of have a bring your own device policy for our developers because we're all students and we also don't have a development machine for every one of our developers and or designers and whatnot. So we had the CISO of the university come down to our sysadmin personally and say, hey, something's not right, fix it. And so we had to mitigate that, and we still haven't figured that out yet. So I've been having to do that. That's all the fun stuff. And what's interesting is that it's like, yeah, I'm away and not technically working there, but I'm still kind of working for you. I don't know how that's going to work. Team of one.
Team of one.
But I think it actually, even just having the team of just it being me actually helps push some more and going back to just pushing more value into some of the things I found on some of our development projects were very, very heinous that I won't disclose. And also just the general atmosphere or the environment of the office and employees in general have just become a little more aware of some security issues that may arise, or they're being more conscious when they're working around the office. Some of them are, some of them are not, which is fine, which is what I would expect. You can't win them all. So
sure. Yeah.
Not to ramble. We should.
It's interesting being a team of one, kind of spreading your wings, learning all the different facets of what a security team would comprise of. And then a team can be too big, but the right size team, everybody's learning from each other. There's some mentoring going on. It's a nice spot.
I may have accidentally deleted somebody's stuff. Someone was typing the show notes in the header. I'm not even sure how you get to the header, and now I'm all confused with the layout of this freaking show notes. I hope I'm not straightened up. I hope everybody sees the same thing now. And header, I'm trying to figure out how to get the fuck rid of the header.
I think delete first page header and footer. It's this little checkbox that is underneath when you have the header selected. At least on my screen.
Why don't you delete it for me? You see it.
Yeah. Oh no, that's a different header page. I'll Google it. Just continue talking, and I'll figure it out.
Go ahead and continue.
So that's all I got for instant response stuff.
Yep. No, I'm good on my end.
All right. What do you about this? All right, I think this is also something that I'm assuming Ricky put in. You find yourself in a toxic work environment. What do you do, and how do you rectify it without burning bridges? And see, I don't know about toxic. See, I hear a lot of people use the term toxic, and most people, when I heard the term toxic, I'm automatically thinking, oh man, social justice warriorship. But
yeah.
there is other toxic warrior type environments, I will admit. And burning bridges, I'm not good at not burning bridges, so I am not a man to answer this question. So up to the group.
I am the person who you do not want to ask this question because I have been in this situation twice, and process kill in progress.
Yeah, well, that's what it's all supposed to do, right? You learn some tips, you learn how to figure it out. And I'm with you. I'm somebody that in a workplace like that tend to lose my temper and will burn bridges, but
apparently when a VP is trying to convince you to go on a pen test without the proper paperwork, and you try to explain to them that you've seen this shady shit before from other people and they're pissing you off, apparently you're going to get punched.
Yeah. That was really the motive behind it is a lot of times the folks that are managing and directing security teams tend not to be experts themselves. They've come over from other business areas. and they direct things the way that they see. They don't trust in the expertise of the staff, and they lead you down a road that
Can be dangerous.
It can be super dangerous for sure. And then you start getting, the employees start having some motivation issues. There's some micromanagement going on, and then the whole place just turns. Everybody wants to buck out and leave.
Well, when it gets to that point, you're either left with one of two options. You can either wait it out, and hopefully, somebody higher up realizes that group morale is going down, or two, there's going to be a wave of people, submitting resignations, and then that'll make HR take notice and say, hey, what the fuck's going on down here?
Yeah. There's got to be one man that jumps ship first before that wave comes, because most people are scared. They've got comfort in the position they're in, even though their morale's down. That's a paycheck, right?
Yeah, it's better to go with right here what I know versus out here in the unknown.
Right.
I can tell you right now that if I had more finances back in the last incident, I would have resigned and I would have given a very nice resignation letter to the entire company.
Oh, man.
It would have very much been all the executives, all of HR, all of sales, all the consulting, all the SOC. Everybody would be getting the resignation letter, and it would very explicitly spell out what was going wrong.
Remember you talked about thermite a little earlier?
Exactly.
You're not burning bridges. You're
burning
bombing bridges.
Hey, they were fucking smearing me afterward. I found out that they were smearing me internally.
Oof.
Wow. And market size is part of the issue in a lot of places. You got some small markets where everybody knows each other, and you've got larger markets where there's not, all the CISOs and ISOs and folks like that tend not to know each other on a one-on-one basis. So there's less fear to kind of branch out, maybe burn a bridge here or there. In smaller communities, everybody knows each other. Everybody's around. They're all at the local conferences. They all meet for CISO dinners.
I had 3 people try and warn me about these idiots at ShmooCon Epilogue before the incident happened, and I wish I would have listened to them. And these were people who you guys probably know. At least one person is pretty well known in the industry. So, yeah. As far as the rest of it goes, I'll put it like this. At DEF CON, I had multiple people tell me they've had horror stories or heard horror stories as well. So, oh well.
This is all at the same company or with the same
all the same company, all the same management, same company.
Wow. You know what?
Yeah, I'm still unemployed as a result.
But you know what?
So,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that becomes then an industry problem to focus on, at least locally, letting people know that this is a bad environment. I mean, I know a shop around us that has a security department that no one will touch, and it takes them 7-8 months. Often they have to go outside the area to hire because everybody knows to stay away. But
then that's on that company if they can't correct those actions. I mean, I was once going to be made IT manager of a department like that, and I said fuck no because all the people that would have been underneath me, they were all friends, and so they would all cover for each other, and I was like, the only way I know how to break that up would be to lop one of their fucking heads off, and then the rest would fall in line. And then I was like, no, that's not the way of doing things.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't do that.
What?
Jack, we need you out of jail, my man.
No.
You're lopping heads off.
No, you just walk in, you have a meeting, and you just fire one person.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, I
who,
got
and
nervous.
you're like closing your eyes.
But
and-
when I hear somebody say that, I think of Suge Knight. So I just kind of like, oh shit. What? So I was having a Suge Knight moment. Like he said, I'm also, oh no. We don't need nobody in jail. Come on, man. It ain't worth it.
It's off.
You're talking about hanging.
No.
Swords out.
Oh, it appears there can be only one.
No, but I mean those lessons taught me from a manager that had a similar situation.
Gotcha.
And believe it or not, when she lopped that person's head off, just point blank, just said bye. That's it. That's all. Goodbye. The rest fell in line.
So was that a specific target, or was it just someone?
It was just someone because
Oh, wow.
because they looked at her and perceived her to be a potentially weak manager.
And
okay, so they had it coming.
Well, no, the entire group felt that she was going to be a weak manager, that they could just push her over.
Okay. And she fired one of those group members. It wasn't some innocent that was just sitting in a meeting that had no problems with her. She knew they had an issue.
She knew everybody had an issue with her. So she came in at 11 p.m. at night and fired one person. And the rest fell in line.
Miney Mo.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems the way to do it, right? I mean, you the rest of the group then gets the message. Don't fuck with me.
I get it how I live it. Wait a minute.
So when I was offered that job, I was like, that's the first thing that I would do is you would have to fire one person.
So once you get in that manager position, you lop a head off. Unfortunately, if it is the managing team, that's the one making it a harsh work environment. I agree with Adrian. I hear toxic work environment. I do think SJW, but there is for sure something real in toxic workplace that isn't this SJW stuff, right?
Yeah. And I had a time where I did have a kind of toxic work, not super toxic, but it was just that a bridge was definitely burned at one point. So essentially what happened is my lead for my team, for the development team, and this was when I was just doing straight web development for the company I work for. We were working on a project for a specific client, and we had an impromptu meeting that the project manager did not tell us about. So we all had to rush into this meeting to show them what the progress of the project. And the meeting went off without a hitch. The client was super happy with the progress that I had made, and I was the only developer that had been working on it. And at the time, I think I was on a freeze for some reason because the client wasn't getting back to us on content or something like that. I don't remember. It doesn't matter anymore. This website's done. But after the meeting and after the client was well away from the premises, my manager or my IT manager basically berated me for about an hour, just saying, why isn't this done, yada, yada, yada. I don't even remember because I tuned him out after a while because I was getting so fed up that I was about ready to sock him and just leave because I was about ready to do that. But what ended up happening was I just needed to fix that because afterwards I kind of lost respect for him, which I knew was a bad thing because he was my boss, basically. He was the one that I had to run everything by. So if I felt like he was, or he didn't respect me, and how can I respect him? Yeah. To kind of fix that, what I needed to do is just take it at like everything with a grain of salt, and it's like he says it, just kind of what Jack said, where you just kind of like wait it out and just keep doing. But I kind of just kept doing what I was doing and kept trying to improve to actually get it to the point where he he respected what I was doing and saw that people were coming to me for questions as well, and also to help out with stuff so that they knew they were doing it correctly and or developing stuff correctly. And so that was how I dealt with a semi-toxic environment, I guess. Because after a few months after, I said like 3 words to him after that, and everything else was just via like Slack or pull request stuff. So like 3 words in person or something like that. Yeah. So that's how I've dealt with it, at least.
No, I mean, I've had issues with managers and leads and other sort of personnel as well. But I mean, I tend not to take that personally. I guess it's just my military background where you can just, you can go back and forth angry like that, and then the next thing you know it, hey, let's go out for tacos.
Yeah, the thing for me, like, I wouldn't have taken it super personally if he just said, hey, we need to get moving on this, and he understood like all the things that were going on, because I was told not to develop on this thing. But when he personally like stands over you and is basically yelling at you about a foot away from your face,
you would not survive in the military then.
I wouldn't. So,
but there is a difference between the goddamn military and a corporate work environment. You don't expect people to be in your face.
I'm just saying. I work for the DoD, and there's a lot of people who still have that mindset. So I mean, when people do get into that yelling part of trying to crack the whip on me, I just laugh at them like, really? You expect that to work on me?
Yeah, Jack, I know I would not survive in military. I thought about it and I was like, nope.
No, I mean, you just kind of learn to tune it out real quick, and it's like, okay, well, he's just talking loud just to talk loud.
Yeah, and the other part of it too was I had only been working at the company and had any development experience for like 4 months maybe at that point. So I was fairly new.
Yeah, I mean that can be a little intimidating and scary. But you said you're in college student, just come out.
Yep, I was a sophomore at the time, I think. So yeah,
I can see how that'd be an issue.
I'm distracted. I'm looking at Viz's stuff. He's talking about some in-map patch that got put out really fast, and I'm like, in-map has always been good. Fyodor has been great about. There's a problem like it was like about 10 years ago. In-map, I was in-mapping the college network multiple times, and every time we do it, it would cost massive print jobs because it was 9100 do a detection, and it would print out every single one of the probes. And eventually, Fyodor, when I told him that, he went and added something, or him or some of his developers added in a feature to say, all right, 9100 is a dangerous port. Do not probe it. When you probe it, it prints out whatever the hell you send to it, on an HP printer at least.
So, Are you aware of what Viz found?
Not totally. Something about a coffee machine.
It was showing Hadoop running on a coffee machine.
Hadoop?
Hadoop.
Wait, what is Hadoop?
Are you serious?
God, you don't know what Hadoop is?
No.
Yes, I'm dead serious. It was showing Hadoop running on a coffee machine.
When was this?
Hadoop.
Inform the ignorant one here. What the hell is Hadoop?
Okay, so it's the Apache Foundation's system in place for big data processing. If you're seeing Hadoop running on something, it's probably doing something fucking big, like petabytes of data.
What the fuck's that coffee machine?
I don't know, but it must have had a lot of fucking caffeine content to push if it's using fucking Hadoop.
I bet you Starbucks uses
a giant exfiltration point.
Yeah, at corporate level, I imagine they use Hadoop, but not on one of the machines. I'm not.
Well, too fucking bad. I never said it had to make sense.
Uh,
I mean, it can make itself look like a coffee machine, right?
have you ever heard the term cargo cult programming?
No,
All right, cargo cult.
What is that?
The term goes back to apparently back to World War II, when apparently cargoes were dropped on various Polynesian islands, and the Polynesians really liked some of the shit that got dropped off by accident places it wasn't supposed to be, because they got new goods that it was like, well, it's like gifts from the gods.
Yeah.
And eventually, they actually started like making fake plane idols and other shit to try to lure the gods back to deliver more shit.
Right.
So cargo cult programming is the idea. Cargo cult is one thing. That's what cargo cult comes from. Cargo cult programming, my understanding, is basically when you include every library, every system, everything that you like. You install everything on a system that you think you might ever possibly need, even if you don't need it. Like when you
shotgun, right?
Header, even if you don't plan on using it. Cargo cult program.
Shotgun debugging, yeah.
Shotgun, yeah. Well, yeah, shotgun approach.
More like shotgun from orbit.
It's the only way to be sure. Sorry, derailing. Actually, my continuing is actually. Wait, we got any more information? All right, sorry, the vodka's kicking in, guys. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
In a bit, I'm gonna
Please.
dudes. I got a new mead horn.
Yeah, you posted it. Didn't you post that one on Twitter?
Yes, I did.
Say it.
Yeah.
Shortly. But anyway, anybody got any more information on toxic work environments?
Yes, they are bad. Stay away and use hazmat.
Okay.
Yeah. It sounds
I
like
mean,
if you
I'm not
can get-
wrong.
I can't disagree. No, it's simplistic, but it's not wrong. No.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like if you can arrange a management position, a toxic environment under you is somewhat easy to correct. When it's those above you, it becomes a more interesting problem. You're relying on either somebody above them or HR to take notice.
And when it's a director, a VP, and a company president all at your throat.
Run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, you might as well. Yeah, that's suicide right there, right? You just get out.
But you know something too, and when it's like I said, with more advice for like a toxic work environment, if you feel that it's toxic, and only you can judge what's toxic and what's not toxic.
If you feel yourself stressed over junior grade fuck ups and you're a junior,
Right.
if you feel yourself like ultra stressed over rookie mistakes, and if you're getting attacked but not actually, guided or trained,
Yeah,
you might be in a toxic environment. I'm just saying.
that's true, and that's the thing. Only
Well, I mean, most times that's not even the case. I mean, there's other issues to be considered. I mean,
right. But whatever you as an individual deem as toxic in a corporate environment, and you've tried to maybe talk to HR, or you try to go up the proper channels and it still doesn't happen, just leave. Just leave and take this attitude with you that it's not your fault. You can't control other people's actions and thoughts and plans.
Yeah, and when when it's leadership people, you aren't going to talk sense to them, especially when leadership is clarified their bullshit.
And they're just leadership of a small piece of the world, my man. So that's why it's just like, okay, cool. Their leadership in that spot, in that area, that's fine. Let them have it. It's a small piece. You got a whole other world out there.
This is why the goal is to control.
So I'd like to point out another red flag that should be obvious, but it wasn't obvious to me back in the day, so who knows? If you say in an email chain when you get a job offer that you need to run the employment contract by a lawyer, and one of the first things they do almost instantly is they call you and ask you why you have a lawyer.
Oh, yeah, that could be a red flag.
Also, another one.
That's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened at my previous employer.
Okay.
Were they small or was this a larger company?
They were pretty small. I'd say about 50 people tops, maybe 100. They're a small no-name compliance shop, and I think the fact that they're no-name is the only thing keeping them afloat.
Well, the fact that they're no name shows that something's wrong there too.
Yeah.
You gotta hide.
And yeah, I mean, I get a distinct feeling from the way they were acting, and at this point it's pure speculation, but I think they might have been sued in the past.
They might have.
And there may have been a case for that or not, because you can be sued at any time for any reason by anybody in this country.
That is true.
Yeah. I think another red flag is when your peers have different rules than you do.
Yeah.
I know. I had that happen as well, including in the employer before that. I was actually explicitly instructed, word allegedly came from a VP, to not discuss hacking in channels outside of the security team channel, even though it was a security company.
Well, if you're just now, I can see you not discussing.
I'm not talking about hacking like that. I'm talking about hacking as in like security news.
Oh, well, they can't tell you to do that.
Well, that was why I got alienated there, and everyone thought all I did was talk about video games and all day because I wasn't able to talk about what I was doing outside that channel.
Well, the good thing is now, and like I said, moving forward, you don't even have to worry about those guys anymore.
I know.
Isn't that great? That's a great part about
the
world. Like when people get stupid and people want to claim their stake and beat their chest, have at it. I have a whole other world outside of what you're looking at.
The problem at this point is getting someone to give me a chance. That's really the only problem I'm having.
For now.
I mean, keep at it. I mean, just
keep at it. Yeah.
Keep at it. Do not get discouraged. Until then, think about right now if you were sitting in front of a potential hiring squad, and they asked you, what is it that you've been doing between employment opportunities?
What is it I've been doing since my last gig? Well, I've been working on some advanced research and development. I pioneered a new attack class.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean that's the positives. Keep focusing on that.
I mean, let's face it, the May stuff. I mean, I don't think anyone could fucking trash talk me for that, other than, okay, your proof of concept is lame, but you have a fucking point.
Here's the thing, and a perfect example, like I said, each of us on this channel are doing like personal projects or something that we're interested in, right? And it's not even work related; it doesn't have anything to do with the daily jobs. But you do it because you enjoy it, and then eventually somebody's going to take notice.
Yeah, it'd be nice if someone took notice sooner rather than later.
I mean, my director sits down. Well, he doesn't sit down with me, but once a week over Jabber, we have a 30-minute conversation over what am I doing outside of work.
Right. And
that's personal goal setting, and that's growth professionally.
Right.
That's important, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you're not growing, you just staying stagnant. That sucks. Like I was watching. Matter of fact, I was watching the Jobs movie on HBO. You know the HBO now, right? I was just watching Jobs, and I remember when what the guy, I don't know the guy's name, but he first started the company with him. He had like the long
Steven Wozniak.
Wozniak.
No, not Woz. It was another guy that was with him when they first started the company.
Yeah, number 3.
Yeah, number 3. But anyway, what he said to him was like, he's like, how come I suddenly feel that your part in this business is expendable? because he wasn't motivated. He wasn't learning anything new. He was staying stagnant. He was still staying on working on Apple IIes, right? The company had been moved on. And Jobs, he wanted to talk to Jobs, right? And Jobs was like, yeah, I don't have time. Let's link up later. He said, okay, cool. But then he said the key word. He said, what are you working on these days? He said, and the guy's response, which killed everything for him, was saying, oh, just pretty much just basic Apple IIe repairs. And then Jobs' face changed, like, oh, like, you're not moving forward. You're not thinking of innovating. You're just existing. You see what I'm saying? So it changes a person's conversation. To get back to what we were saying, it changes a person's mode in the conversation when they see whether or not you're motivated or not. If somebody comes up to you and say, hey, like tonight, hey, what do you guys, we all talked about, hey, what are we working on? And we're actually working on something. As opposed to like, nah, I just chilled today, got on Instagram, posted 1,000 photos, and called it a day.
Yeah, no.
As a matter of fact, that same conversation was actually in Pirates of Silicon Valley, but it was a much abbreviated version of it. But yeah.
Yeah, but you see what I'm getting at, though, right? It's just kind of, we're always looking to innovate and move forward and not stay stagnant. That'd be like me saying, "Hey guys, I just got my MCSE in Windows 2003."
Why?
Great. Yeah, man. Like over a decade late, but
you got it? Question mark.
I got it. Yeah. What can I do with it?
No, you know what the response is if they say that? What did the postal service take a decade to send it to you?
Yeah.
Well, you finally found a dump site that still had it.
Yeah.
Hey, no offense to anybody here. That's how I feel about the CISSP.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait, you mean they give us money or you're illegitimate people?
Yep.
I was.
Hey, you gotta kiss the ring. You gotta kiss the ring.
You guys know that for a short time I was actually blocked by ISC Squared on Twitter.
Why?
Good question. I think I routed on a block list.
Why was that, Adrian?
All kinds of lists.
What did you do?
I
don't think I did a damn thing. I think I routed on a block list and some person at ISC Squared used the fucking block list. Win Reams got me unblocked, but I mean, I was like, okay, I guess no ISC, no CSIP. But
wow,
certified information security professional.
Hey, that's a red flag. If they require a CISSP.
I mean, that isn't always the case. I mean, I
know. Yeah, there's some regulations that. Yeah.
Hang on. Wait a second though. Don't they also do the CEH as well?
No, they don't.
That's EC Council.
Oh.
There is another one, right? There's one like that. I forget what it is. The government uses it. It's completely bullshit.
CompTIA?
That might be it.
No, CompTIA is actually stepping the game up, actually.
I'm just having some fun. But no, they are trying to improve.
In what way are they improving?
I mean,
well, they
probably not as much anal bleeding.
Well, no, actually, CompTIA just took me over the fucking coals because they finally because I messed around and forgot that my CompTIA triad was due for renewal, and they cut them off.
Well, yeah, they want more money.
I'm just reading some of the chats here, some of the posts. James says my new manager is a CISSP and thinks Macs are immune to infections. Interesting.
Bro.
Well, that's his.
Wait. He's not wrong. Macs cannot get biological infections.
Yes, they can. And you know this. I've seen Mac malware.
It's no. You said biological.
Biological.
Oh, no.
I'm talking about the clap.
STD. My Mac's got an STD.
What did you do? Fuck it?
Oh shit!
Oh, you're talking about some terrible discussions. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, what's funny in regard to that, the attack that I was talking about earlier that I got the 3 a.m. message about, we actually think it might have come from one of our Macs. So,
my daughter says the same thing. She agrees. Thank you. Right? Hey,
hello, Adrian. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Say hey, Simone.
Hello, Simone.
Hey, Adrian.
Yes.
Are you gonna drink till you're horny?
What?
Whoa.
Inappropriate.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Borderline me too.
I can't say anything right now because Simone might be listening, and even though I don't think she can understand English completely right now.
She's not listening. I got the headphones on.
Oh, okay. No, and also generally when I drink liquor or any kind of booze, I don't get. I'm horny when I'm sober. When I'm drunk, I'm playful, but I get this. Thomas Jefferson, I think, once said, "Alcohol increases the willingness, but not the ability."
Hey, Charles, you might want to reconsider that stay in a room.
Yeah, so this is my new mead horn from Grim Frost.
Look,
It's got a little thing to carry it around with. It's not a very practical drinking vessel, but it'll hold a lot of mead.
Okay.
Look at my
I don't know. I'll be worried about spillage.
It's clear he stores all the fort. It's clear he stores all the meat in a fort.
It's pretty cool. I thought about getting this resurfaced. Instead of saying Grim Frost, the people who made it, maybe get that resurfaced and say Irongeek or something like that on it so I can carry it around cons.
Yeah, that'd be perfect at Derby.
Yeah.
That'd be the plan.
Hey, did you watch that show, Vikings?
Oh, yes. I love that show.
Yes.
The lady who's the main lady in that? I've liked her since I saw her on like Bones. What is her name?
I should know this off the top of my head.
That's the character, and she plays the first wife. She's adorable. But
the problem is they can't make her look old. You know, you say everybody else in the show aging, they can't make her look old.
Yeah, making her old looking would not. That would decline the show somewhat, I suppose.
Catherine Winnick is her name.
She has her son who's like looking like 25 last time I saw him. I think I'm late in the second season. I need to go back and watch the rest of it.
Yeah, he's about 40 now, I think. Something like that.
Yeah, it's really weird watching. It was kind of weird when they started doing the aging thing because that time hasn't it was like it's like only pet peeve of the show is like they just can't make their actors look old. Like Floki is supposed to be like 60, 70, like pushing 70s at this point, and all he is bald with like this longer beard. And I'm like,
yeah, I haven't seen
that. Was my problem. That was my problem with Ragnar. Is he got old first, but his older brother looked young as fuck, and he was fine. Ragnar's sitting there deteriorating, you know.
Yeah, I think I've not watched the last 2 seasons. How many seasons?
Oh, okay, no spoilers.
2 seasons, I think.
Yeah, no spoilers.
I watched the first 2 seasons, and spoilers out there because I used to have a buddy who was big into Viking mythology, the old what is it, sagas, and he would tell me some shit ahead of time. But I'm a few seasons behind.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's an interest. So Ragnar's eldest son is probably, I think, the best ongoing character. Ivar the Boneless. Bjorn. Boneless was good for that first half a season, and then he's become boring to me.
Okay. Boneless. I only saw him as a kid in the season I saw last. So I'm way behind.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. You still got a lot of good seasons to get through.
Okay. Cool. Dude, I think the show has started to decline.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Supernatural. They're like season 12. After you defeat Satan on a supernatural show, pretty much you don't have much left to give. Hey, let's welcome William. I had no idea.
Hey.
But William has joined the cast. How you doing, man?
What up?
Hello.
Introduce yourself, William. Okay. Oh, don't introduce yourself. But welcome to the cast either way.
Hey, William.
Yeah, mic
you.
trouble sounds like it.
That happens a lot on this cast. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next thing in the show notes, if you don't mind. It's a bit kind of toxic. All right. I've been invited into, me, of all people, into a regular chat thing on Twitter about, well, Inferiors, which is supposed to be about inclusion and diversity in tech. And somehow I got invited into it because of, oh shit, actually, I know how I got invited into it. Jason Street got me into it. And so I've been showing up and talking. And so this guy, Kane McGladry, has been posting stuff underneath the Include Cybersecurity chat. And he had a new chat today where people will also use this one particular hashtag, Include Cybersecurity chat, and respond to certain questions. So here's the questions he asked, and I'll give you my response, and you all give what your response would have been. And hell, man, as far as I'm concerned, whenever he announces it, join it and throw in your own information. That's why I joined it, because I wanted the Adrianarchy to have its own voice in this particular chat. Anyway, what is
Adrianarchy is more inclusive than 90% of the other bullshit,
yes,
frankly.
We also accept all trans Adrians. So if you just decide to change your name to Adrian, we're happy to have you in on the Adrianarchy too. Anyway.
No, I'll stick with Jack.
I'll stick with my crappy surnames.
I'll stick with my real name so that way I can do Peter Griffin jokes all day long.
I like my surname. Crenshaw's not bad, but unfortunately, there was someone else who's not directly related to me, as far as I know, named Crenshaw, who started pretty much the worst hate group. Well, she started but she started pretty much the worst hate group that has existed into the 21st century. But that's a different subject for a different time. So I'm a little ashamed of my name, but it's not because of any of my direct relatives' fault. Anyway, what is the greatest career success to date, and what are you most proud of? I'm most proud of my website because I record a shitload of cons, and my greatest success is probably speaking at various cons. But how would you answer that question? What is your greatest career success to date? What are you the most proud of?
I'd say May is Bay.
Owie on the far left. I'll ask Owie first. In my view on the screen, Owie is on my left. So I'll give Owie the first chance to respond.
I would say the thing I just dropped a couple days ago.
That's pretty cool shit. All right, Caprico, how about you?
I gotta reread the question. Greatest career success would probably be starting my own, or starting a new security team at the company I'm currently working for. And what I'm most proud of is the fact that I was able to do that and also start my master's at the same time. So that was also a thing. So yeah, that's basically that for me. Took a year and a half, but still worth it.
You completed the master's in a year and a half?
No. It took a year and a half.
You completed...
No, well, yes, that too. I will be completing a master's in a year and a half. It's this weird combined program that the university has. But no, I initially pitched the idea of a security team that was separate from the development team at this company, where we're a student-driven company or student-run company, and so we needed to have some way to make money through that as well. So I needed to pitch an idea where we would do either our own. The original idea was just for us to at least do some internal auditing, and then it kind of branched out from there as something like we can actually make some money just doing small audits for companies or entities that don't want to pay a ton of money for someone to do like a quick wireless pen test or do like a wireless pen test or something like that. So that whole thing took about a year or so. So yeah, for it to actually become a thing and get traction and all that stuff.
That's interesting. That's an interesting move.
By the way, guys, I'm just going to put this out here real quick before we continue on. Meat horns are incredibly inconvenient, but you know what? When you wedge them into your couch like that, damn, it works okay. That's all right.
Nice.
Nice.
Are you at my house?
Later,
I
you
got the
can
same
pee
damn
on it.
couch.
What about my couch?
Are you at my house? Because I got the same damn couch.
Maybe. I don't know. This thing was, Value City Furniture or someplace. I think is where I bought mine in like 10 years ago.
Wait, do those still even exist?
Value City.
Not now.
Maybe not now, but 10 years ago.
No, actually, the furniture part does exist.
Really?
Yeah.
That's still around.
Yeah, the department store is what shut down.
Did anybody else want to say what I'm most proud of or the greatest career success? For question 1, before I continue on to the next question.
Okay, I'll say I'm most proud of starting my own company and striking off on my own, like being my own, you know.
My most proudest moment was being thrown into this dumpster fire of a job and making the best of it.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll echo. I started my own company. Have had some pretty good success with that. You know, and then you start getting in the proudest. Would you say it was the proudest career moment? Was the second question?
Yes. What are you?
Biggest achievement?
Career-wise, I think it's doing career-wise though. Yes.
Yeah.
Hang on. I just got new information. Value City Furniture and Value City are not the same organization. Value City Furniture is a brand component of American Signature, but Value City itself went into liquidation in 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about furniture.
All right, we got 15 people watching. That's more than normal, so let's keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
Did Charles answer the question?
No, I think
he's probably on diaper duty.
Yeah. How about Jack? Jack, you got the answer?
like I said, I was thrown into this dumpster fire of a job in March and was able to help them out to the point of where now I'm moving to a different team, which is another dumpster fire, to help them out.
I think Ricky said something about your own company.
Yeah. I think I was echoing someone else's sentiment. Creating your own company, you know, getting your own contracts, kind of starting to sell your business and being able to get out there with other business leaders. It's interesting to do. It's not my, you know, I have a 9-to-5 job. The business that I started is working with a virtual CIO who then uses my services, and I branched out from there. So we do all kinds of things. We have 2 employees, so
cool.
Kind of cool. It'd be nice to do that full time, but.
Will, how about you? Will, you got your microphone working yet? Or are you still, you know, microphoneless?
I don't have a career.
I still love you.
It's all good, man.
It's okay, Monica. It's okay. I won't delete your save file.
What?
Oh God, no one knows what that's a reference to. Has anyone watched what DA667 has been doing on Twitter lately?
Not real recently, no. But I have so many people I follow on Twitter. It's like it.
I accidentally got DA667 into dating visual novels, and he wound up first fucking a tank in that dating visual novel game about tanks, where he wound up dating a T-34 with pink hair, and then in the process, another person wound up playing a game about a dating visual novel in North Korea, where you are an American GI who's a dumbass who thinks Korea is just one country and goes to Pyongyang to meet up with two Korean army buddies who turn out to be cute women. So
What is this? What the hell is this? What are you talking about?
So let me get there. So after all that shit, DA started playing Doki Doki Literature Club, which I'm not going to go too much into it, as I think Adrian and all of us should just do a let's play. But the short version is one of the main characters is Monica, and in order to progress in a certain part of the game, you have to go out of the game into the folder where the game is installed and delete her character save file.
It's like Black Mirror stuff. I was just watching Black Mirror, and it was all about like deleting consciousnesses and everything. So that's
this game is very Black Mirror. Let's put it like that.
All right.
I very strongly encourage us to have a Doki Doki Literature Club let's play, just where one of us is on fucking Doki Doki, and everyone's just watching and reacting. It'll be comedy gold.
Is this on Twitch?
We can
do that.
We can do that on Twitch.
Moving on to the next question. What challenges, if any, have you faced in the field of cybersecurity? And just in theory, it's supposed to be about diversity. The hashtag is, they haven't really asked me diversity questions. I said something about being an underrepresented Adrian in InfoSec, and I linked off to the Adrianarchy on Twitter, because I have a collection. I have a list of all the Adrians I have found in InfoSec. I found about 14 of them.
Yeah.
Mixture of, it's mostly men, but there's still at least one woman in there. But my actual, more honest answer was, occasionally I express political viewpoints or social viewpoints online, and I get drama. And the guy who organized it, Kane McClary, Bladry, asked me something about the story, and I never responded. But, I say shit on Twitter that pisses some people off. Mm-hmm. But my response is, my greatest challenges are just, I am incredibly honest, and I say shit, and sometimes it pisses people off. But what have been y'all's greatest challenges?
So just to cut in before people get to their challenges, I don't like when people talk about diversity and they're only talking about your physical self, rather than a diversity of ideas.
I'm with you on that.
That's it. It's just a pet peeve of mine. My melanin might be a little different than yours. That doesn't mean we're a diverse group. We also, we share some of the same political and social ideas, I think. And I followed you for a while. You've not offended me yet, but
give me time. No, so I got it.
Adrian, I am highly offended by your existence. You are clearly a threat to the non-Adrianarchy. You must be destroyed.
That's what it's called.
And here we have the Adrian cult. Yeah. So we just going left or right again?
You know what? Actually, is all of our left to right the same? Because my far left is Owie.
Yeah, so we'll just go with your left or right, I guess.
All right, Owie, go ahead and lay it down on us.
Besides the shady bullshit I've been through, which I'm going to just stop talking about because I don't want to be a downer, I'd say the biggest problem I've had is just getting hired after shit happened. I mean, really, that is the biggest problem I've had in this industry is people look at 1 year work experience and they give like one interview because, oh, well, okay, you got con talks and all that stuff. But none of that ever factors in to the actual hiring process. They just look at the year's experience and they don't actually look at, wait a second, this guy's doing so much shit on the side. So that
the side did help a lot, but I spent a lot of time. I mean, it was more than 10 years doing, well, no, not quite. It was like 8 years of doing shit on the side before I even tried to get an InfoSec job, and then I got a job because I knew Dave Kennedy, and he got me hired at a place because he knew me from conferences.
Dave is good people from everything I know about him. Haven't had the pleasure of meeting him personally though.
Don't ever hug him. Don't hug him.
Why not?
I'll get you a long, wet hug from Dave at some point in time. Hug from Dave.
Hold on. Don't ever hug who?
Dave Kennedy.
Dave Kennedy.
Why you say that? I have.
I don't know. Dave Kennedy's fine to hug.
No.
The
reason I say that.
I liked hugging Dave better when he was fat, because then you could run into him, and like he'll run at you now to hug you. And when he was fat, it was okay because you like land the pillow. Now he's you're landing it like bones.
He's a big guy. He's a big guy. He's still very tall.
He's still big, but now
he was big and round.
When he does the hug thing, it hurts more than when he was fat. When he was fat, you hug him, and it was like you'd be like landing into a nice soft pillow. Now it's like, oh, I gotta be a little more careful.
Yeah. No, I said don't hug him because he's known for giving out hugs. If you don't know, don't hug him. Wet hugs is very important, especially right out of the pool at BabyCon. Soaking wet.
All right, Caprico, what challenges have you faced?
I'd say the only challenge is kind of a general one where it's just getting people to see what you found is actually a big deal, and if they don't fix this, bad things are going to happen. And also just getting the security team off the ground. Like I said, it kind of took a year and a half to get that rolling because people didn't see the value in it.
Risk register, man.
Yeah. All right, Charles.
That's a cat.
You're currently messing
daughter. Go ahead.
Your current challenge is Simone, but besides that, what challenges you got going on?
What other challenges? Right now, like I said, the OSCP knocking that out in April. And again, my quest to really dig into the mobile space and assembly. So that's my challenge that's set before me. And it's a personal challenge. It's not even like I said, it's not even for a job. It's just the passion and the will to know. That's it. I just need to know what's going on under our devices. And if there's any bugs, they need to be fixed. Personal challenge.
Sounds good. Nightshade. How about you, Nightshade?
Oh, well, let's see here. I would say in the past, I have to agree with Ali that when you're just starting out, getting hired is a huge challenge. As an independent consultant, my biggest challenge is getting paid on time, because if I'm working for some big guy, or a big company, I should say, they'll be like, oh, we can just bump this payment out 6 months. And I'm like, hey guys, I'm a one-man shop. If I'm not like paid in 30 days, my bills, my own personal bills, like my rent, start sliding. And that's not cool.
Yeah, I can get that. My shop, well, I work for someone else, but we have people to make sure that gets taken care of. But the fact that it's such a big factor, I think we only have like 50 people at the company or so. The fact that you need people just to do that is an issue,
Well, now I was counting on this during this podcast about how many lawyers I have on retainer currently, and I think it's 4. So like when I was like, oh, they where they have a lawyer, I'd be like, yeah, I have not really a legal team, but independent things. For my personal challenges right now, I'm hoping in the next month to get this is just on the personal side, my volunteer examiner credential, so that I can basically, how should I describe this? I will be the ham radio operator who can make other ham radio operators. I'll legally be able to check the exams and send them into the FCC. And I also want to upgrade.
So what you're saying is you become the person where baby ham operators come from?
More or less, yeah. And in addition,
that might be the nerdiest thing I've heard on this.
To my extra class license. Anything's
Okay,
happening.
you'll hear nerdier things.
I say there's a huge dork. I can account for it. There's a picture of me and him fighting with a sword and a lightsaber at Mary Margaret Conley's house.
Yeah, that was Hackers on the Farm 1. That was like Friday night, I think.
Something like
And
that.
everybody was like, why are you going for low guard? And I'm like, because if it's a real sword, if I went for high guard, I'd be carving the plaster in Mary's ceiling.
Point. All right, Jack is next up on line, I think. But Jack might be asleep. So
No, Jack is not asleep.
Wake up.
Not yet, anyway.
All
No,
work and
I'm
no
not.
play makes Jack a sleepy boy.
For the most part, just being recognized as a InfoSec professional and not just, the creepy guy that might have fucking weed.
Jack,
and that's
Last
fucking
week's podcast for that story.
Who
Are you holding
probably does have weed.
No, I do not.
No, I'm just messing around.
Word of advice. Do not go to the Wi-Fi village and ask if anyone has weed. Just don't.
because they all do.
I'm just saying it's a bad idea.
Jack can
Charles,
Jack.
Charles, that baby is adorable. Damn.
Hey.
Let me see if I can move the camera to it. Yes, there's Simone. Hello, how you doing?
She is adorable.
Hello, Simone. You're adorable.
She's
I don't
like,
know.
what the
And then
hell's
on
going
the and then
on?
on the diversity end, it's like this happened way the fuck back when, before that person was outed as being a shit bag, but trying to hoist me up as some kind of token, and that's not what I'm all about.
Amen, man.
And also, guys, I got to show you guys my cool shoes. My robotic slippers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking like Mega Man.
Yay. Yeah, I'm a Mega Man fan, so yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
Your door.
I'm trying to wonder here. Charles' wife's got to be really good looking.
Yeah, she's awesome. She is. I am lucky. I'm saying this in the camera. I am lucky to have
You're gonna watch
beautiful
this
wife.
later.
Yeah. I am lucky and blessed to have my beautiful wife.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yes, sir.
Okay. As far as what people are happy for, what the best success. Wait, Ricky, have I covered you yet or not?
I haven't answered. I forget what the question was.
Oh shit! I drank too much mead, man. What the fuck?
Challenge, the
It's
challenge.
like-
Greatest challenge.
Yeah.
So the greatest challenge I've worked with is lack of talent within information security as a whole.
That's heavy.
Oh,
It seems like a fairly common issue. It's known that there's a lack of talent. They're bringing in people that are have an interest in IT security sometimes, put them on a lower level SOC position. Some of those people get elevated because of time spent with the company. So I spend a lot of time mentoring the other folks on the team. We do Tech Tuesdays, and we work together one-on-one to kind of go through and walk through and solve issues. We do some threat hunting together. That's the way I try to pay back, but I'm not sure what to do about it.
To kind of bounce off on that, I can kind of see, at least from the university standpoint, it's kind of sad, like how little they put emphasis into even just if you're developing software or if you're putting into security. There's not, at least at my university, there's not a whole lot that you can do in terms of information security. So a lot of it I've been having to do on my own, which is, we've talked about, that's great for me because then I'm actually pushing myself and all that fun stuff. But even in just normal development, it's very centered towards just getting something that works and is functional for the client or the business or the company or stuff like that.
Someone I'm reading from chat here, James said, challenges managing threat intel, vulnerabilities, industry news, and applying them to organizations.
Yeah.
Or getting them to listen. Except when it becomes a hair on fire situation, and then all of a sudden you have to throw together a tiger team to take care of the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, threat intel is one of those big ones where a lot of companies will invest in a solution, and they're managing external threat identifiers, but they don't have anything applied to their industry or their specific organization. So
I seem to remember a saying about how nobody knows how you're being attacked but you, so threat intel is kind of useless.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's useless, but that is an interesting thought. The one I see most manageable is internally identifying IOCs for your specific business. So that would be kind of for compensating controls. You know, there's an issue here. Let's say
Charles,
there's vulnerabilities that exist. You know, a
Charles,
specific
are you
expert.
going to eat us?
What's up?
Are you going to eat us, Charles? Are you going to unleash a pink blob on us?
Kirby, this is Kirby.
I know.
Down with DA67.
Well, I will say DA and Kirby look a lot alike.
Kirby and Rush. I'm a retro geek. Like, I just love it. Yeah.
I'm the idiot trying to make Ghost in the Shell real. What can I say?
Hey.
William.
Yep.
Will, do you have an answer to the question?
Of my biggest challenge? I don't have any challenge. Like I said, I don't have a job.
I'm sorry, man. I still love you.
For now.
Yeah, for now. It's in the works.
What, you mean it's not going to be for a long, long time?
You love me a long time. All right. Question 3. And apparently Kane McGladry actually saw this tweet. He liked it. I don't know if he's listening to the show or not, but these are his questions. So I'm just repeating for everybody else because I answered them on the Twitter live feed. But I figured ask anybody. Question 3 was, what one message would you send to your younger self if you could? What, positive or negative? And my response to that was fairly simplistic. My response was something along the lines of career-related, leave the university sooner, stock up my money, and retire early. I'd also recommend college students check out the cynical but practical views of Aaron Clarey. Don't waste money on a university degree until you know what to do with it. Now, me, I didn't waste money on a university degree. All my university degrees, I think, were fairly practical, but I've seen other people like meander around with it. And Aaron Clarey is like this very cynical, and I call him cynical. He said he responded via Twitter like, cynical? Wow. No, yeah, he's a cynical guy, but I think he's fairly accurate. My recommendation to myself would be to get out there in the actual workplace earlier and start saving money earlier. I mean, I didn't go into the big, huge student debt that a lot of people I know have, but I could have been putting more money earlier than I did.
Yep.
What y'all think about that? What one message would you send your younger self if you could? Would it be positive or negative? That is the question. And let's start with Howie because he's on the far left.
Okay, so this would be a conjoined message, and I would have to say, without making this too personal, I would say, A, if you find love, stay with the person you love. Don't fuck it up. B, invest in Bitcoin. C, work through college.
I was waiting for that.
And D, I would say don't let fear control you and, you know, become more social. Also, you know, one other thing I'd tell my earlier self: don't be a whiny little bitch.
That could help a lot.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows why I say that one.
You blew up bridges, man.
I didn't
With
just blow them. I fucking nuked them.
Yeah, straight up nuke.
So guess it's my turn.
Yes, you're the next person in my. By the way, does everybody read the same way I do as far as order on your screen? Alex,
Exactly.
Capricorn, Charles, Illustrious Nightshade, Jack, Ricky, William, and myself.
Yeah. I read it a little differently, and I think it's just me, which is okay.
I was gonna say,
Well,
my order is a little bit different on my screen.
I guess Capricorn go next.
Okay. Jeez.
What the
What's
fuck?
with that vibrator?
What was that?
That was a vibrator. That was clearly a Hitachi magic wand.
Oh wow.
My grandma's vibrator wasn't that
loud. The one I would say I don't know if it would be positive or negative, because probably the one thing I would tell myself, to my younger self, which for me it really doesn't make much sense because I'm only like in my 20s, like early 20s. Gosh, I don't know. It would be something along the lines of you're going to have these issues where you feel super alone and all this other shit, but at the end of the day you're going to come out a better person than if you were to just stay and just be kind of this drone that just goes and takes whatever life gives you and actually start making something of yourself rather than just sitting at home playing video games all the time.
Strong, man. Powerful.
Yeah.
Whoa! Don't knock playing video games, because I mean.
No, I still play video. I'm in a game development minor in Europe right now, so like I'm definitely still playing video games. But it's like not just start improving my like. What happened was, and kind of a little personal, but I was bullied in elementary school, and then I was bullied basically until I started my junior year of high school, where I started going to college at a community school through a special program where if I scored high enough on a test, I could go to college and start making or gaining some credits that way. And all that time after elementary school, I was homeschooled as well, so I got a lot of scrutiny for that. So there's a lot of negative thoughts or negative ideas coming at me from supposed friends and stuff like that, that I eventually just said, screw it, I'm just going to make myself as good as I can and keep improving myself to the point that I don't have to worry about what people or what they say anymore. I know that I can actually do this stuff, and even if I say I can't, or stop saying I can't and say I don't know yet, and it's the yet. So
again, powerful message, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, next person in line on my screen at least is Charles.
Woohoo! Now, advice to my younger self, both positive and positive. Honestly, I would say to my younger self, do more. What I mean by do more, like I said, I really had an awesome childhood. I had a lot of fun. But what I would say is I would focus more on school, like really buckle down and really try to achieve good grades. Because in high school, I was just like, I passed. And, I was there, but I wasn't there. You know, the cloud, I've always been like a daydreamer. Like, I mean, seriously, like a daydreamer. Like, a teacher could be talking to me and I'm staring out the window and the clouds look like the clouds from Super Mario Brothers. Like that kind of daydream.
I didn't pay attention in middle school and so forth. I went to a private school most of my high school, and that changed me a little bit. But I just didn't. I lacked off. And
I would do more. Definitely, just like by doing more, meaning learning more programming languages, learning more languages too, learning more about different cultures at a younger age. I would definitely advise that. I would have took more advantage of living in New York. You don't appreciate New York until you leave it.
I never been, man.
You never been?
Never been to New York.
This motherfucker travels all across the country going to cons.
Never been to
New York.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man? Even I've been to New York.
The big hackathon I know in New York is Hope, and I've never been to Hope because they got someone else videoing it, and it seems very political.
It is very. You know what?
It is indeed very political.
And I don't understand. Here's the thing, and that's the thing. Another thing. Why is it so political? I never understood that. Like,
because it's New York.
But still, no. This is it because of the 2600 mystique and everything else and Hope?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Is that why it's so political?
100%. So
because
we could talk about that after everybody gets through, but 100%. Those guys are legends in the scene, right? Everybody gets elevated in New York if you're a legend of the scene.
That's true, but even legends got
So what happens is you have a combination of people in both the business class, the hipster class, all that surround New York, right? They're very left leaning, very political, very outgoing. Hacking is cool. So let's jump in. I really think that's where it comes from. Not to say security shouldn't be political, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean it's the world we live in. But like I said, the younger and again to get back on track, the younger me, I would also advise myself to, maybe like I don't know, just try to influence more people. And what I mean by that, like I said, it's just in regular conversations, just lifting more people up. That's my goal as an older person now. But my younger self, I would have done that a lot earlier. Like if I see somebody going through something, it's like, hey man, it'll be all right. Maybe you can try this. Or maybe you can do this. I'll help you do this. So that would be an advice for me. Helping more, doing more by helping others at an early age.
That's a second in a row for me that's been super powerful. Thanks for sharing, guys.
Oh, no problem, man. That's what we do.
All right. Next person up. Great. I'm trying to find the right screen now. We have Illustrious Nightshade.
I think I would tell my younger. I don't know if I'd say this is like good or bad advice or critical or whatever, but astrophysics grad school is a bad idea. Don't go double major in CS and physics because I've had problems trying AT with my physics degree, ironically enough. And yeah, definitely go to DEF CON and the other hacker cons way earlier because they're your freaking tribe, man. Oh yeah, and like Owie said, get in on Bitcoin at the ground floor. And also sell that shit like December 2017.
Everybody has that.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I see Jack is next on my sliding list.
Where do I start? Let me see here. At a younger age, I should have.
I'd say written a book, Jack's Chronicles.
No. No, I would not have written a book about the shit that I was doing. And then about the shit that I was doing, not do it not do it at all. Early on in my infosec journey, I did know programmers, and I did run with them for a while. I just wish that I would have taken more time to pick their brains before we, kind of sort of went our own separate ways. And then on to what I would tell my younger self, which is never say no to an opportunity. Never at all.
Amen.
And then lastly, if you're constantly trying to push a friend uphill and they're not wanting to go uphill, just kind of step to the side and let them fall, and then keep going. That's all I got to say.
Definitely concur with that last one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been trying to help the same friend for 20 some odd years, and well, he seems to be happy being where he's at, and I keep trying to help him up, and in the process, all it's doing is just enabling him to continue on with the shit that he does, the fuckery.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking as someone who was in that place last year, though, I can tell you this. Right when I had finally figured my shit out and needed, a boost to finally break free, that was when everyone was like, you know what, fuck it, you're on your own. That was fun. So be careful with that specific aspect. If someone's trying to reach out to you and they're trying to say, dude, I finally figured it out, don't push them away in the process.
But by that point, it's too late, and they've worn themselves out. I mean, I'm literally worn the fuck out.
Now you said something about I want to break free. I want to hear some Queen singing it. I want to hear some Freddie Mercury.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I can't do the voice.
Yeah, I can't hit them high notes. I'm not talented.
We are the champions.
Don't you start. Time after time.
I'm trying to keep on the one lyric. That's what I want to hear.
Want to break free. I shouldn't be singing. It's like 3:30 in the morning here.
The
Wait, where the fuck are you then? It's 3:30 in the morning.
I'm in Europe, bro.
Oh, motherfucker, lucky ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
That depends on where in Europe you are, man.
I'm in the Netherlands currently, so I'm 7 hours ahead of you guys. So
lucky motherfucker.
I'm burning the midnight electricity.
I'm betting you're in fucking Amsterdam too, you motherfucker.
No, I am sadly not, but I'm planning on taking a trip up there this weekend.
Who was the last person I posed the question to? I forget now.
Nightshade.
All right.
No,
Oh, never mind. It's Jack. Sorry. Jack.
Wait, I asked Jack last?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jack can fuck off now. Next up is Ricky. Love you, Jack. But Ricky's next.
Always.
Yeah.
And a quote to all you guys. It was just a moment just to say this. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs and the square holes. The ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, which we aren't.
The manifesto.
You can quote us. You can disagree with us, or glorify us, or vilify us. That's just me putting the us instead of the them. But the only thing you can't do is ignore us, because we change things. We push the human race forward. And while some may seem to think that we're the crazy ones, we see the genius, because we are the ones who are crazy enough to think that we can change the world.
I would just tweet that manifesto in these days.
Hell yeah, but I just also realized there's another thing I would have told myself as a kid as well.
Yeah.
Read every book Richard Feynman ever released.
Yeah, now I'm Googling Richard Feynman to add him to my library here.
Start with Surely You're Joking, Mr. Feynman, then go to What Do You Care What Other People Think, and then start reading the other stuff.
Which one first?
Surely You're Joking, Mr. Feynman.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Charles, I've drank too much mead. Can you conduct the left to right? My left to right. We started from my left to right. So we covered with Jack, right? Last.
Yes, we did.
Ricky.
Yeah.
What's up?
I'm going to tell a whole story here, but so I would have
Talk
both
about
positive and negative, right? I think the positive would have helped me grow a little bit more. Inner city kid, right? Dropped out of school at 16, left home at 17, in jail by 18. Finally broke out of all of that, had a kid. At that point, I was hungry and looking for things to do. Found my first computer, hopped online, got involved in some pretty cool stuff in the early days of, we're talking, I'm aging myself, 95, 96 area. Got involved with the community that was primarily started pirating, and then starting creating our own tool sets for Unicode exploit and things like that, where you could take over an IIS server and store your goodies on their server and then hide it from them. Back then, I wish I would have had more of a focus. Probably, maybe someone to look up to, a father figure. So find that person to look up to. I probably would have went to college earlier. Ended up getting the GED and going to Ohio State. Spent too much money trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I was always interested.
I think it's into my next thing on. Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of. Don't feel bad, man. There's a lot of people who end up doing that shit.
Yeah. No,
it's what we were told to do from the start.
It kind of, I forget who was talking about it, but I think Jack was talking about letting people go. Mm-hmm. I hung on to bad friends for far too long. Those friends had a unique tie on me. They were the friends I grew up with. They were inner city kids as well. Both of them are dead now. I did hang on to them way too long, and then once I broke the relationship and started growing on my own and having a family, I kind of split ways with them. Mm-hmm. And that's a little troubling as well. As soon as I split ways with them, a couple of years later, one of them dies. The other one died just last year. Jeez. Both drug overdoses. So, just from the get-go, you try to hang around home. Try to push yourself through high school. I had a similar problem where it was a daydreamer. It was boring. It was an inner city school. Nobody was learning anything. 75% of the class dropped out. Hang around. Try to do better. Potentially try to go to college earlier, if at all possible. Understand what you want to do from the get-go. Somebody had mentioned, don't go to college if you don't want to know what you want to do. You're just wasting money on general classes until you figure out what you're into. And the problem was, I knew I was into computers, but I just kind of floated around until I go, oh, bingo, that's what I need to do. And that was 2 years later. This is my sophomore year. So those are probably the biggest things I'd tell myself as a younger person. And I think that's both a positive with a bit of a negative with a bit of a positive spin on there. How to get better sooner.
Cool. Anybody got anything to add?
Man, all I can say is Honestly, we all have a story, but I'm so thankful. No matter what road that we all have traveled, we're still here.
Yeah.
No matter everything that everybody went through, we're still here, and the story's not over.
No, we're not. I'm over there.
Yeah. And the story's not over, man. The story's not over.
And Charles, the cool thing is we found ourselves here tonight, and I heard my story echoed in a couple of you.
Look at that.
Yeah. That's kind of eerily scary.
Yeah.
There's one thing I've noticed, and that is a lot of people do have the same story in a lot of ways. But there's another thing I noticed as well, besides just the standard general common thread of behavior throughout most of humans. And that's this. People in this industry in particular, and I mean InfoSec as a whole, we tend to not just come from unconventional backgrounds, but take unconventional paths. At least the ones who don't wind up being the suit and tie corporate whore types. Those of us who wind up actually going into the industry because we love it and sticking around and, being active, we wind up being the ones who, I guess the best way to put it is, the path in this industry, the path a lot of us take in this industry, it's a hot mess, to be real about this. It's not a normal industry to be in.
No.
This is the kind of industry where it's better to get fired than it is to follow orders at times.
Yeah. I think what I've heard a lot here tonight is a lot of people have been through some sort of hell. And when they come out of it, they battle not to go back to that hell.
Exactly.
And also the people that have been through their own personal hell or whatever hell it is that they went through, they had to forge their own path to get out of it. And I'm just a student. I'm not a professional. I'm not in the industry quite yet. But from what I've seen and from what I've heard from industry professionals that are very active in the community and also very successful in the community or in whatever they're doing, they're the ones that they forge their own path. They don't keep the same routine. They keep trying to improve themselves. They keep trying to make themselves better. They try to find new ways around something. Like, dude, I don't even know how to say your name. Owie figured out a whole new way to attack things, and he's currently unemployed right now. And he's just like, he just did it because he and I were talking a little in DMs, and he just said, I was bored.
Yeah. By the way, quick thanks to James. He sent me $10 on Super Chat.
Yay.
Hey, James.
All right.
About look into something about Discord Nitro channel. I know little about Discord though. I have no idea what Nitro channel is.
Nitro is their paid subscriber or whatever I think it is.
Yeah. I did get a hold of my buddy, and he did say that we can get a room on the server for us to use.
Send me links, and if someone else manages it, I just don't know if I have the time to manage anything because I use Google Hangouts because I'm lazy.
Yep, he's gonna make me an admin so I can go ahead and do all that stuff.
Send me the link, and I'll be glad to advertise it.
And here, man, I'll do the same.
That.
Yeah, it's Caprico, just Caprico.
Because look, I use IRC, I use Discord, I use Hangouts. Like I'm all over. Like even Slack.
You both, Charles.
Yeah, man. I mean, because everybody has a certain platform, and I like to keep them all together. So it's like, in the words of Dave Kennedy, hugs.
Hugs.
So I hug programs.
Yeah.
Always.
So William's the last one to answer this question.
I forgot what the question was. It's been so long.
What's the one message you would send to your younger self if you could? Would the message be positive or negative?
Invest in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You know what? Even better. Just invest in yourself.
Hey,
Just an extension.
Why not both? I mean, one will be investing in the other. I'm just saying.
No, I mean I'm just saying in general. Here's the thing:
Yeah.
Bitcoin's a whim, but investing in yourself is life.
hey, and that's a strong message, Charles, because it doesn't need to be financial either.
Nope.
Investing in yourself. I don't know if any of you do any martial arts or anything like that, but goddamn, did that help me get disciplined?
I've done boxing.
Jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. That really brought everything together for me. I know Jack was in the military, I think he said, and that sort of brings discipline to you. And that's one thing I was surely lacking. And that provided me with the ability to always challenge myself and then invest in myself. Now, financially, obviously, that's a big one too.
I mean, yeah, we're all in the same. We're all in the same boat, you know.
See, why don't we have both on Capricos? Yes, exactly.
You know, hey, but no, honestly, we what I love about it, like I said, when you said the discipline part, my dad was my disciplinary, and I was blessed to like my dad to be the disciplinary because God knows I needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know. I got, you know, I was lucky enough. And of course, he's still here to this day. So thank goodness, 75 and counting. Woo!
Yay.
Yeah. So those like when perfect example. You know, everybody this week has been, you know, like really on like the Black Panther and everything else. And I'm just going on a record to say I didn't need a movie to justify who I am and my self-worth. My dad's my Black Panther.
Amen, man.
I need to ask something. What about the Pink Panther?
Pink Panther? Pink Panther.
That's for you all. That's for you all. Hey, old people.
I like the Pink Panther. I love the Pink Panther. Especially the guy that never talked.
Discord link when we eventually post it. I'll try to post it on Twitter whenever it's sent to me by Caprico. But yeah, James is asking about it. Oh, the Black Panther thing was someone else. Wiki actually was asking me about it. The Black Panther movie, I haven't seen it yet. The reviews I've seen have been largely positive. But what gets me is the people who like it, who are both black racist and white racist.
Yeah,
like the movie. It's weird. I mean, I've seen people come out and say white people should not show up in the theaters. It should be only for black people for the first couple of weeks.
No.
And then I've also seen like some of the alt-righter motherfuckers have come out and saying, well, yes, Black Panther is essentially ethno-nationalist alt-right thing. So if you switch the races, it's a different shit, man. And people, am I saying the movie's actually a pretty decent movie?
It's a really good movie, and
people are making politics out of it that don't need to be there.
No, it's just it's just a good movie, right?
Yeah.
Wait, for the record, Black Panther, the comic book character, predates the Black Panther political movement by about 3 months.
Yeah, it does.
I'm wondering if maybe there's a relation there, if you know what I mean.
Not directly.
Well, you know,
Black Panther's a cool idea. It's a cool visual. And so both the Black Panther political movement and Stan Lee and I think Jack Kirby, who I think put out the original Black Panther comic character, it's just a cool visual. It's a cool visual. It's a cool name. So they both chose it.
Yeah.
Don't Black
Panther
look cool as fuck though?
He looks pretty cool.
Yeah, he does. He does.
You know, I've heard it compared. Sorry, Charles. Compared that what's his name? T'Chaka.
Yeah.
That he is T'Challa. Yeah, he is Martin Luther King. Killmonger is Malcolm X.
That's a fair depiction.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
I've not seen the movie yet. Has anybody in the channel seen the movie yet?
I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm just a fan of the comic. So
okay.
I've seen the movie. and Killmonger steals the movie. Michael B. Johnson does an amazing job.
I put he's a great actor. I put he's a really good actor.
Yeah, he's
He
good.
played Apollo Creed's son in some Rocky movie, didn't he?
Creed. Yeah.
You know something too, and besides all the politics of this movie, I like that we're all coming together on something. God, dog, we got the head man in the office that just wants to divide us all and put us all in little boxes.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't want to divide us all. He just wants to look out what's best for numero uno, his fucking self. But you know, it's just
but
my
dividing
view
us
on
Well,
it.
he cares about being popular. He's a popularist. I think the media cares more about dividing us. But he cares about being a populist. People say he's a conservative. There's a lot of conservatives who don't like Trump. Trump is a populist. And while I'm gonna get some hate for this, I like him better than his alternative on the opposite mainstream party. But Trump was far my fucking first choice.
Dude, he's a fucking
also
clown.
too, exactly, and also too, I just want to give a digital shout out all the students who are standing up for their lost classmates in Florida. Yeah. Traveling on that bus, walking out of class, doing whatever they have to do to have their voices heard. I want to give them a shout out as well, and just a rest in peace, a sleep in peace to all the beautiful souls that we lost in Florida.
Agreed.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have been taken from us.
Powerful.
No.
I love that they're making their voices heard. I love that they've got something that is helping them get through this and mourn a little bit. I'm a little. I don't want to attack their message, obviously, but some of the things that they're saying just isn't fact based, and I wish it didn't have to be that way. I wish they didn't have to put these kids on CNN,
right,
and treat them like they're gun experts.
We may need to schedule like a Second Amendment discussion podcast for this, because I feel bad for what happened and everything else, but at the same time, I don't know what solutions are people going to put in place, and I don't trust the government to restrict my firearm rights. So,
hey, I think Charles said,
"Don't trust the government at all."
Charles said what needs to be said for now.
Yep.
I think that covers that, right?
We can agree.
We'll move on to the next question for now, unless William always got asked, right? William. Shit. See, William.
Willie.
Will, as one of your handles someplace, and they have William someplace else, it confuses me.
William.
I'm drinking a lot of mead.
Willie D.
Anyway, the next question in line for the thing was, in your opinion, what is the best way to find opportunities to mentor others about cybersecurity? And see, I've never had a problem. I never really want to try to find people to mentor because people come find me. And sometimes I can answer questions, sometimes I can't. If you really want to mentor people, I'm sure you can check out colleges. You can just offer on Twitter. If you offer via a blog post, people will come find you. And I think Hacks or Pancakes, I put that out towards her, and she's also offered, I think, in the past. But if anybody's got any suggestions that, in your opinion, what is the best way to find opportunities to mentor others in cybersecurity? And Aoi, we'll start with Aoi.
I really don't have an answer for this one. I'm sorry, I just don't.
All right, Caprico.
I haven't really mentored a lot of people yet. I've gotten people interested into it and kind of stoked the cybersecurity fire in them so that they either start understanding the risks that they're taking by doing certain actions or getting them into security in itself. I will say one thing though, I do agree they do come to you rather than you searching them out, because I didn't really have to search them out. They just came to me and they were like, "Hey, you know stuff, teach." I'm like, "All right." And then I ended up teaching about 10 or 12 fellow students a month, a week, just some basic attack and pen kind of situations and stuff like that. And it's also kind of reminiscent of how I met my mentor, which was he basically said, if you want to learn this stuff, you got to come to me and all that fun stuff. So then I just had to kind of push you, and especially in this kind of industry, you kind of just have to push yourself. And if you're really into it, or if you want to be in it, you really have to go all in. And so far in my experience, you can't half-ass it.
You're close to the education. I'm sure you're close to some students as well. Have you thought about using that opportunity to engage with high school students to discuss cybersecurity or work within classrooms? I don't know.
I haven't thought high school wise, but I have been given opportunities in this last semester. I took our upper level, or two of our upper level security courses that the university provides, and what ended up happening was the professor ended up having me teach parts of the class because some of the stuff I was doing was just either was dead on topic, and also the I don't know, kind of put me up on a pedestal, but I don't like to use that word because I don't like being on a pedestal. But yeah, and then I run a student club for security, or I'm the vice president of it, and I ran a lot of the kind of lessons or quote unquote talks that we would put on. I'd sit down with the president and we'd figure out, well, what do people want to hear about this week from a topic survey we sent out at the beginning of the semester. And then 1 week it was wireless pen testing, another week it was just phishing and stuff like that in a general sense, or something like that.
So do you create that those topics yourself? I don't want to take up too much time with one person. Sorry, Adrian. I'm really curious about how somebody that close to education would handle, especially him being in college, would handle mentorship. Especially, he's at the point where he does need to be mentored as well, but he has an opportunity to mentor those below him. So
yeah, and even with some of my mentors, mentees, he's brought me in, or I was just there at the time when he was getting new mentees, and he was saying, it's like, Nate knows this stuff. You just go to him if you have questions. He has all the stuff, and he'll probably be easier to get answers from than I will be, and because he knows this stuff off the top of his head because he just figured this stuff out. But sorry, I just lost my train of thought. It's getting close to 4 a.m. Could you repeat the second half of your question? I'm forgetting the second half.
I think you answered it. Invest in Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you were saying, how do I figure that out? Yeah.
So the question was really, do you reach out and create topics? Meaning, here's topics that I'd be willing to discuss, or work within your own group to set up some sort of a weekly session where you kind of go over things that you've learned and pass on things that you learned.
Yeah, so when we were making the topic list, we knew that we couldn't really spend a whole lot of time in research on these very like the whole Spectre thing that's been going on right now, we would not have talked about it because we didn't know it completely. We were basically talking about topics that we know, we've done, we know how we could teach it, we know how we could teach it in a simulated environment, and we also knew how we could give some sort of practical explanation or practical like lab for them as well. So yeah, just basically just anything that you know you can do, just teach to people so that they know that they can do, or so that they can learn as well, I guess.
Yeah.
That's how I would answer that. Anyway, probably should move on to the next person.
Next person is, and you saw me drink from the mead horn. Who's next?
Charles.
Charles.
Wait, I thought we covered Charles.
Yeah, they covered me already. But you know.
Who do we miss? And I just saw Mary just joined.
Hey, Mary.
Hey, Mary.
Hey, Mary.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
How goes it?
Wait, I think it was William that was going to be next, but fuck Will.
This is the mentorship question.
Now that Mary has joined, Will can fuck off. Now we love you, Will.
Thanks.
Oh man, that beat is mean.
No,
Yeah.
but Mary just joined, so she's left to right. I think she might be next. In your opinion, what's the best way to find mentors and others among others about cybersecurity?
Talk to people. Honestly, Twitter hasn't been bad if you're just willing to ask questions.
Twitter has been great.
Yeah, Twitter's been really good. Yeah. Yeah, Twitter's been really good, and if you have good faculty at your college or a local college or even some of the high schools, a lot of times those people are in those positions because they enjoy mentoring to begin with, and they'll be happy to talk to you. So a lot of it's just simply going out and asking questions and not being afraid to ask to ask people. And even if you end up with one of those guys that just they don't want to deal with you, then don't be discouraged and go on to the next person because it's numbers game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because they're probably lame anyway when they do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want to, it's probably just better off not dealing with the people that feel like that you're trying to buy their time for a coffee, because if people want to talk to you, most people, especially LobbyCon, we're there because we want to talk to people. So.
Yep.
By the way, Mary helped us a lot on Locksmith. What was it? Oh, what's the guy's name? Lock Butcher. What was his name? He posted some cool looking tool, but Mary's the first person to actually identify what the hell it was. It was apparently something called a fleshing knife.
Yeah, it's a fleshing knife, and I knew that right away looking at it because I've done tanning before, so yeah.
All right, Will, do you have anything to say to the question?
As far as mentoring people, I mean, I tried a few different things to mentor people over the years. Like I ran a hackerspace, so we were doing a lot of security type nights just to draw people in. But some of the crowd for that type of stuff is like they're more interested in like the movie type of hacking versus like actually.
Oh boy. Well, then again, I might very well wind up helping enable that, so I'm going to talk.
Yeah, Mr. Laughing Man.
But I mean,
if you just saw what I posted on Twitter, Project RefID Kusanagi is going back in active development tonight or tomorrow.
I've heard similar things about people like who often lock picking workshops that teach lock sport, and a few people show up who aren't really into lock sport or lock sport locks, but actually want to break in, and that's just not a practical way of breaking in, to be honest, in general cases. But yeah, I can see how that. I can see how that.
I may right now be going through Pixiv, grabbing all the Motoko Kusanagi pictures I can for Kusanagi shit posting.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah.
Someone added in the show notes. This is the last note I have of the night. So I can go and pass out. Flight sim awareness. Password stealer found in flight sim. Wait.
Okay, so I'm the one who added this. I'm going to explain exactly what the fuck just happened.
You read it. You read it.
So there has been some news stories recently. So Microsoft Flight Simulator has a vibrant community of paid add-on creators, and they have a real history of piracy being a problem. So apparently, some Flight Sim developers, specifically which one was, I think it was Flight Sim Labs, got a brilliant idea. We're trying to hunt one pirate in particular, so we're going to install a Chrome password stealer as DRM on our release, and then try and claim it only activates if you use a pirated CD key. And they were using it to gain access to people's logins and shit.
Yikes.
They are in trouble.
That's when the one intern needs to raise their hand and be like, isn't this a breach of privacy?
So, I can tell you some things now because I actually used to be a staff reviewer at a major flight simulation website back in the day. And I can tell you right now, a lot of those people, the vibe I got from them was they have absolutely zero reservations about draconian anti-privacy measures. They are, let's just say, the kind of people who would not have a second thought about this. At least one person who was one of the developers back in those days was making comments about how if they detect, and these were on a public forum, they were making comments about how if they detected you were pirating their shit, that the characters in game should start talking about life insurance with the player. That's literally the kind of people these were.
And they went on to develop Doki Doki Literature Club.
I wish it was that group. But no. These guys essentially had something that installed a malware called that was installed as test.exe as part of the DRM that allegedly only targeted specific pirated copies obtained illegally and only extracted temporarily and never under any circumstances was used in any legitimate copies of the product. I call horse shit.
It looks like it all started on Reddit.
Okay, so it looks like a security firm, Fidus Information Security, confirmed it is only installed when a fraudulent serial is used. Regardless, there were serious issues involved in the scheme, including questions about security of stored data, yada yada yada. It was being sent over HTTP and only encoded with base 64, and whether or not it was actually legal to do this in the first place.
I don't know. I mean, if you agree on the AUP, I mean,
agree on the EULA. Just scroll down and hit agree.
So,
we imagine that conversation, right, with their attorneys.
If it's in the EULA, it's fair game.
Does their but their EULA would have to specifically describe dropping malware on your machine if you pirate their application?
And I have a distinct feeling that any EULA writer would have a second thought about that.
There's no such thing as a EULA writer. It's all lawyer speak.
Well, a lawyer would probably have a second thought about adding that to a EULA, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that's where it goes to absolve us from all responsibility.
So what are we going to do about that? We're going to put a password stealer on their box. Good idea.
Yeah, because that's not going to break into the CFAA. I mean, I'm just saying that there's no way in hell that could raise CFAA issues.
Nah, we can skirt around it.
I'll let you believe that. I'll just be making for the door.
I'm going on vacation, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sell all my stock options now.
Oh, these guys are small enough where I don't think they even have stock options. A lot of these add-on developers are so dirt fucking poor, and piracy does hit them pretty fucking hard, where I think they might have actually thought this was a good idea. I think they might have actually thought this was a good idea to stop piracy because piracy might very well have been hitting them that hard. Flight Sim add-ons in particular are very heavily pirated. It doesn't help the fact that they're selling airplane add-ons for like $50 to $100 a pop for a single plane.
Oh,
but
fuck you. Free
yeah,
market
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. So I mean, like, I tried to raise that concern back in the day when I was reviewing that shit, and I got chastised. And I noticed that a lot of the reviewing group was very, if I may say, cozy and white knighting the developers to the point at which they were willing to side with the people who clearly had shitty business practices and were being foolish.
But were these was this group also getting their shit for free?
So there you have the ideal.
Sometimes, but the main shit with them was, advertising money. But here's the thing I think needs to be pointed out very explicitly. This was before Gamergate.
Yeah, I was about to say that was, and I'm still confused about what the whole thing is. But yes, that corrupt practices in game journalism is definitely a thing.
I did a full paper on that
whether
in
it be one way in or another.
I'm just gonna say, Sarah Zhang has me blocked on Twitter because I called her out on being a hypocritical little shit during Gamergate.
I don't know if I have her blocked or not. Oh shit! I block a lot of people, and a lot of people block me. But
I very specifically remember that conversation where she blocked me, though. Let's put it like that.
I think I get blocked because I follow Adrian.
I don't get blocked. I don't get that. I mean,
you will get blocked for following me in some cases.
I know. I'm just fucking around.
I got blocked by a person.
The TV Fragus. If you have.
I get blocked and then unblocked, and I don't understand that one either.
I got blocked by a person on the security team at a Silicon Valley firm with the explicitly stated reason when he DM'd me saying he was blocking me because I followed one of Weave's known aliases on Mastodon. So he would decide to block me across every social media platform just because I was following Weave on Mastodon.
I followed Weave. I mean, come on, really?
I know. I fucking know.
Guys followed Weave. Shit.
This is the reason why I suspect I will never be able to work at Slack.
You know, but I gotta say though, you know, if I was, never mind, I won't say anything.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We all know.
Get it out. Get it out.
What you just said. Do you think Weave is serious or not with the white nationalism shit?
I really do not know with him. I mean,
serious or is he trolling or what the fuck is going on with that shit?
So
I don't know. He's all about trolling.
I know. I mean, he's all about trolling, so I really cannot say for sure with him. What I do know is that I have been told in the past that Weave, before he went to jail, was a really sweet kid, even if he was a bit of a fucking troll. But what apparently wound up happening was when he hit the jail cells and all that shit,
he tried shitlording and then he got checked.
Yeah, and then he wound up falling in. He wound up falling in with the white nationalist crowd, and at this point, no one's sure if he's serious trolling or if he's actually still somewhere underneath there. If you know what I mean.
One story I heard from somebody is he got raped by a Jewish gang in prison. Hey, I even knew that Jewish gangs existed. I didn't.
Yeah. In federal prison, it's all about cars. It's all about people who you relate to on a city. Whether you have a city in common, whether you have a certain beliefs in common. It's just all a matter of.
The rumor I heard, he got punked in prison, and that's what the way he is now. But What he has like a black adopted brothers. He's like Jewish. Someone
He's got Jews in his family too. He's got
lineage. Yeah, someone traced down his family lineage. He's fucking part Jewish himself.
Yeah.
And that's the gang he got raped by?
I don't know all the details on that, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying how it breaks down in federal prison is that there are people who are about that life that are Jewish.
I legitimately don't know with him because, as far as I'm concerned, anything he says is suspect.
That's probably a good general philosophy.
Hey, but on the other hand, if someone's saying they're a neo-Nazi, you go.
If someone says they are a hate monger, I automatically assume they are. Like every time someone comes out and says, "Hey, I'm a feminist," I automatically believe that they actually
really take them at their word. Yep.
So I generally do take people at the face value. So yeah, in that case, I guess I gotta take Weaver as face value.
Yeah.
I have to agree with that, unfortunately, and frankly, I've never personally had interactions with him, even though I've been on a fucking airplane with him, so it's not like I can fucking
never met him in person. I've had positive interactions with him on Twitter and Facebook, but yeah, his viewpoints, especially since I have matzo fever, they don't work out.
Been hitting up Jade 8?
Oh, dude, I would if I thought I could make any fucking, leeway with that, any freaking progress.
What? I mean, I made headway on Jade 8. Come on now.
Oh shit, you do? You got the whole what is it? What is that guy? Oh, Davis Jr. Something Davis Jr.
Anthony.
Sammy?
Sammy, yes. He's the only black Jewish dude I know of. Is Sammy Davis Jewish? Sammy Davis. What the fuck did I just say? Sammy
Davis Jr.
He's the only Jewish black guy I know of.
The black Israelites in New York would argue with you.
Oh,
yes,
shit.
that is also very true.
Oh, those people. Oh, shit. You know what? If I thought about, how I mentioned in the past, I like to do a fringe group of the week. The black Israelites would probably be a good group to do. They're interesting.
Yeah, they're interesting cats. I was watching a video recently, somehow popped up in my stream. They had this white dude come up and start kissing the feet of one of the black Israelites on the street in front of a whole crowd of people. He kneels down and starts kissing this dude's feet. I was like, what? Where's your...
I'm sorry, I kiss no one's feet unless she's cute and she and I are together.
No, not even that, because feet aren't my thing, because there was a guy whose computer I had to look through, and it was just tons of fucking feet.
I'm just gonna say this right now. At least that's what you saw instead of something worse.
Yeah. Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with hot women's feet. Wait, that's
no. It was like, well, it's porn, and I was like, no, it's all feet. I mean, it's taking up a lot of space. The only thing I'm gonna tell them to do is delete the shit, and it's not porn.
Yeah,
I was like,
could have a beautiful.
Oh, I'd say it was porn to him, probably.
Well, yes, but I mean, what fits your definition of porn? Does it have to be naked there? Does it have to be, parts there in a, in a sexualized manner? It's just feet.
Yeah. Before we get to the
definition to the feet, I'm just saying. There's nothing wrong with that.
Before you guys get into the definition of porn, I'm going to sign off because it's like 4 a.m.
I didn't mean to kill it.
Have I ever told you the definition of pornography?
All right, one last thing on the list. Well, someone, again, butchered the notes. Torrent freak, like sim malware, password stealer found in...
We did that.
Oh, we just did that.
We just did that, Adrian.
You know what? As drunk as I am, I think maybe we should just call it a night.
Yeah.
Hang on. Before we go, there's one thing I have to say.
What's that?
The world is a vampire.
Oh, God.
There's always that option to drop live and just
I'll
chat.
hang on for just a little bit to say goodnight to people, but this is the end of the podcast. Good night, folks.
Good night.